Yo, boys, what's up? I am back. I am back here. I changed the topic to like news-based kind of news. You say like news stations. Kind of fix it up a bit. All right, let's get straight into it. More Trump stuff. Obviously, Trump content president. Um, we also got more about Graham Plattner. Trying to the dad trying to find his replacement. We got some like the Cliff and the Kirk trial, Charlie Kirk trial, Tyler Robson. Also, we got later. I was going to watch a cash show to be talking to Sneak on Alex Jones debate. Yes, Sneako has done some stupid shit. We're going to react to all of that. So, let's get started, shall we? Just let me do this fight real quick. Then we're gonna get right into it, boys. So, I cannot wait. Also, we'll look at some like gaming rack stuff, obviously. Some of that BO2 and BO1 are back on Game Pass. Not Game Pass, they're selling on Steam. So check some of the content out for that. So let's get straight into it, boys. Oh yeah, let's get some biscuit. Drawing over being racked that later. So let's look at this. City Bricks News. Say King Jong-un orders North Korea to shrink it and increase its military his nuclear force. That's all not surprised. Ways North Korea never testing nukes. Feels like every day they're like launching nukes. Israel tells the U.S. as a new intelligence indictment runs to assassination attempt on President Trump. I don't know. I have to see if it's true. Let's let scroll it, shall we? Oh shit. Let's see if it's actually true or not. I don't know, it's so much hearsay. Yes, recent reports from this, according to multiple major outlets, Wall Street Journal, CNN, Fox News, and Israel recently shared intelligence with the U.S. pointed at Iran has the spies and fresh plans to assassinate President Donald Trump. This is described as a specific recent plot, not just a general press. This intelligence was passed to the U.S. in the few days of July 9th and 10th. It builds on earlier known avoiding threats against Trump came back to like 2 years ago. That is very interesting. Also, there were reports of 2 years ago that they wanted to kill him. Also, the threats for Trump. Ronald said they watch a war go wrong and was killing their leadership to become able to put on a blockade. So I wouldn't be that surprised. I'm not that surprised that they're trying to walk around once they kill Trump. Honestly, but Ronald's probably trying to kill like every American president because we feel like it's major hard sanctions on them. Which we bombed them a whole lot. Israel recently shared intelligence the United States indicted Iran had developed a fresh plan to assassinate President Trump, according to the Wall Street Journal. Report first say decided people familiar with the matter. He reported intelligence would marked escalation in launching threats against Trump, who Iran's repeatedly found to retaliate against over the 2020 U.S. Trump that killed Islamic Revolutionary Guard Qasem Soleimani. He killed him back in January 2020. The White House referred Fox News Digital to Trump's remarks Wednesday when asked about the report. They want to take out the U.S. leader made on whatever list is on this point. I'm on every single one of their list, Trump said, and so far, I guess I've been a bit lucky, but maybe that doesn't last very long. These are evil, sick people that we have to root out. The cancer, that cancer, you know what to do. You've got to cut the cancer early. That's the way I feel. Fox News Digital has also reached out to Israel's embassy in Washington in Iran's mission to the United Nations for comments. The journal reported that intelligence services Trump and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have diverged in recent weeks over to recede over the last most conflict with Iran. Netanyahu has advocated for continuing military pressure on Iran, while Trump has sought for a gradual ceasefire after he was struck on Iranian nuclear sites. Trump and Netanyahu spoke first and agreed to continue cooperation between the two countries, according to a statement from Netanyahu's office, which said Trump also updated the Israeli leader on recent activity in the Gulf. Iranian warners at the funeral of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei changed for Trump's death and displaying that saying, "We will kill Trump," according to the journal. Iran has probably found years to retaliate against Trump over U.S. operation that killed Soleimani before the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Quds force in Baghdad during 2020. Very, 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 very interesting. Also, I'm not surprised we did kill the leader, one of the military generals in 2020. We've done hard sanctions on Iran. Trump with the JCPOA. We did more hard sanctions on Iran. He kind of almost bankrupted in his first term. We bombed him last year. We helped to get supplies and Israel was he attacked Iran. Also, we launched a war against them and killed their supreme leader. Also, we killed a lot of their leadership. We blew up some of their major buildings too. So, but we also know that was definitely being started too, because he's been watching like kids abroad and Iraq, Lebanon, for decades, obviously. So I'm not surprised. I think most U.S. presidents would be on the run to get nice because we've done hard sanctions on them for years. We've constantly condemned like a lot of Iran into like action. We condemn like your leadership to something. I'm not really that surprised. There's any more on here. I used to look on Fox News website all the time. I'll watch something that. Pierce Morgan accuses 10 million TBS under the Trump critic transcript. That's done nothing good. Should we even look at that? That's not a big deal. It's actually just around the house. Let's review a soccer after Trump's phone call. Called up ball again. They're so lost. So it didn't make that much of a difference. Trump says Democrats are pushing finance very hard to do. Let's look at that. If you look at that. President Donald Trump remarked that the congressional Democrats would have a hard time replacing former main Senate candidate. Grant Pliner, after a battle candidate suspended his campaign Wednesday. It's very hard for them to do. It's a really good question of whether or not you believe the woman. A lot of people say big falsehoods. He's an A-blind, he's an A-blind, but should be able to do well. I guess he's going to lose. I imagine he's going to lose Trump's instead while speaking to reporters on Air Force One, which the United States from NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. Players suspended his campaign Wednesday after Democrats and liberals to Thursday backed employer support person to drop out of the race. The calls for executive political responsible for detailing rape allegations against Gladbark and story Congress program Jenny Riot. What? Malaysia forced his way into her home and sexually assaulted her in 2021. The political report called a New York Times that described another physical abuse allegations against Gladbark. This one from Lindsay Fayfield, a digital strategist for the Republican political campaigns organization. Trump alluded to its allegations wondering aloud why her allegations weren't a callous allegation. The same manner as the Rishi Khan's transgender rights were. It's very interesting when the Republican woman came out with the same charge. Nobody believed her when this woman came out every night, believed her right from those reports. 5 people criticized no Montana of her accusations spelling the papers focused on the history of working for Republicans. I'm not here on I'm like a well photograph, and there's like paragraphs of my work history. What is this video? Fox's digital in a forensic review. Flatner maintained that in suspension was like a mission of kill with the allegation of Flatner suspended his campaign Wednesday. His nomination dropped out. They could have to begin under Maine state law. He would have to drop it July 1st. That's on Monday. To allow the Democratic Party to put a UK on the ballot. Very, very interesting. So yeah, he obviously dropped out, but so they have to like Monday to find a replacement. Like I heard about Troy Jackson. I never heard this guy. So I actually may look him up, see what this guy's about. So I don't know if he's any better than Platt, or although he's like a centrist Democrat, or just like a total liberal, or if he's like a socialist. It's hard to know these days. It's just like the Democrat Party's been over too much socialist, so it's kind of hard to know if anybody's like a socialist or like just like a normal Democrat. We came to Nassau to get away from the lights and chains. You shall leave her, Johnny. That's not real John. Sorry. It's Johnny Boker. Johnny Boker? You have a dream. Go get this, Sean. All right, seems safe. What do I get? But it's only a dream. You don't have it? It's on the island. We'll all go to the island. You go to the island now. Spouse, the safe. I have to look at this because I haven't talked that much. I haven't talked to any people about safe. Popularity of this Johnny Sean. Unlikely reason has an unlikely reason has shaped the life for now. It's a Senate Republican resistance against President Trump's flagship election priority. The Safeguard American Voter Ability Safe Act has hit a brick wall after brick wall in the Senate, and it's twice mustered votes, so Trump wants votes to pass it. And it is necessary. Republicans, however, aren't unified behind it. One lawmaker, Senate Mitch McConnell, was returned vote against the bill in the various iterations or in the personal ire of Trump. McConnell, Trump told reporters that he's very useful to John Fenn. Jonathan was a very good person for him. I mean, he's a very little person, and Mitch McConnell's against him almost all times because he's angry, I guess. Probably at me, McConnell has been absent in the Senate, which is currently in recess for almost 3 weeks due to health issues, and when he will return. So it's unclear, but with other persistence, that's one less, that Republicans have to contend with. So it doesn't address a broader map problem and the Senate way down the chance of the SAFE Act passing. Senate Democrats are unifying against it. I mean, Trump and the SAFE Act biggest promise can't break for 60 votes, 60 vote filibuster, which has been part of the president's demands to nuke the filibuster. Senate Republicans don't have the votes to do that either. The only way we can get there, so to undo get rid of the legislative filibuster then, and their and they're close to the votes here in the United States in order to achieve that Senate majority, like John Food said last month. There is talk in filibuster, which Senate likely has passed, was pushed for months, which Republicans have yet to turn to largely over concerns of a floor time being eaten away in fresh unity leading to Democratic wins. Then there is the budget reconciliation round, which Trump has pushed to Congress to consider, while Senate Republicans aren't. We've been at the cross with the House, and the House is moving full steam ahead. Speaker Mike Johnson and told Shannon Breed that he would move ahead with a reconciliation plan. The president 3 times in the House, and we're going to try one more time on a budget reconciliation bill, and I think there will be the way to get through the Senate and finally to pass going to the president's assessment. Sorry. Notably, through the House Republicans have not passed the version of the SAFE Act that Trump desires, which would include a strict crackdown on mail and ballot, a ban on transgender athletes in women's sports, and a ban on transgender surgical procedures for minors. But even those biggest factors with those regulation as a far-fetched option, believes last month told Fox News Digital that the SAFE Act was a policy. Policy is not budgetary, therefore the SAFE Act itself is not eligible for consideration in a third regulation. There could be alternates like giving states federal funding to start doling out enhanced real IDs with citizenship verification and regularization package while Supreme passed on a photo ID bill. However, Lee believes that there was no evidence that there was a viable path to a regularization bill. I hope that there is. I would love to be wrong on that. I want us to do that. I think we should do that. But the schedule that we've gone to migrate this point is not. It doesn't do it good. Do I think the same as going to pass? I think eventually it probably will get passed. Eventually, it's kind of funny around this time. Like last year, it took like a long time for Trump's bill to get passed. I think they have ready to do some like tweaks in the bill. The problem is, you get like 60 people in the Senate, and you're not going to get any Democrats going to follow it. The reason why there's been such a struggle with the SAFE Act it's not for voter ID. Well, it has to be voter IDs first from like the Democrats. I think the reason why some Republicans have not voted yes. It's not because of the voter ID, it's because due to mail-in ballot, because basically in that bill, it would kind of really restrict mail-in ballot. I think it should. I hate mail-in ballot. I think for people who only should use like mail ballots if you're like in the military, right? You're overseas somewhere and you want to vote mail ballot. I think that's fine. Or if you're like terminally ill and you can't leave your house, I think there's only two things should be allowed for mail ballot. People in the military, or out of the country, or if you're terminally ill and you can't terminally ill with bedridden, you can't leave your house. But if you could get up and drive to work, you should be able to vote in person. I think everybody should have an ID to vote. You need an ID to get a passport. My passport will leave it on too, so you need a ID. When you go to, for your driver's test, you need an ID when you go to the doctor. You need an ID to go to the airport. You need an ID when you go to buy alcohol. You need an ID to go to the bank. You need an ID to get hired at a job. So you need an ID thing, but they don't want an ID to go vote. It's just so brain dead. I think the reason why Democrats are get to say that because they're worried that it would hurt like mail-in ballots because Democrats benefit very well with like mail-in ballots. They're very strong with like mail-in ballots. There's a lot of those like mail-in ballots like come with lights with like voting because they're like no laws make to keep the like faster during the like elections. And also, like they, also would hurt them because like illegals wouldn't be able to vote because there's some states where it required no bar ID. In the states that had no voter ID, comma one. If we had like every state required voter ID, Trump would have won it and ruled a bigger margin. So, but we do need to just say that fast. But I think we need to get a housing bill passed first. We get a housing bill passed first, and we try to figure out getting the war. Then we could, do this like setback. So that's just like my opinion on that. So hopefully this pass. Hopefully they can make weeks in and work together on this. So let me see. I'll look on their estimates. Democrats are typically staying after backpacking by school girls. Typical platter shit. Alright. I'm trying to figure out this. Grandfather is taking his name off the ballot, but the trail of the breeze left from from the mounting controversy that brought down his nearly won insurgent Senate campaign in May. The Republicans' ambition to use against Democrats in a crucial midterm race that is true. Democrats are rolled in the mud, flattered, and now they're completely staying by their association with the sick monster Republican National Committee Chair Joe Reuters charges stated minutes after the Marine Corps veteran announced on Wednesday that 9 days to spend this campaign. Republicans are now linking Plattner to Democrats. Handful of House and Senate races that directly impact the midterm ballot to control of Congress. Guns as well as gold. That means Planner, a populist Democrat, backed last September by leading national progressives like Bernie Sanders, was challenging Republican, longtime Republican Susan Collins in a high-profile, combustible, and very expensive race in May, which won the handful that determined if the GOP holds onto its slim Senate majority in November's midterm elections. That's right. So plunder and pillage as you see. Plattner's exit from the race came 2 days after an explosive report on Monday afternoon contained an allegation of rape from a woman previously dated. Not only if it was only after that report when a chorus of calls emerged from top Democrats across the country for him to immediately drop out. But Plattner, the compact veteran and oyster farmer, whose campaign caught fire and steamrolled the Democrat establishment, and already was coming to faint after in his primary victory last month, hasn't gone to online comments made on a now deleted Reddit account. On him at the same time, he was reeling from revelations of a now covered-up tattoo on his chest resembling a Nazi symbol. Then reports that Plattner's exchanged sexually explicit messages with several women while married right before allegations from ex-girlfriends of a history of rape fantasies. Heavily drinking from episodes were made public. Plattner repeatedly called the allegations of violence, untrue tattoo, and Reddit posts as actions taken by a younger man who is now trying and addressing the latest rape allegation and physically irritated Plattner.
I think the best is
So I'm change my song. Addressing the latest rape allegation and physically irritated Plattner charge in his suspension video admitted that this is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. But Republicans see an opportunity to respond to Chelsea vast advantage as a against some Democrats on the ballot in key races this year, especially those who once back in candidates were defended him against previous allegations. Every Democrat that has endorsed their plan goes here for this, and every Democrat that stayed silent was complicit. The GOP quickly took aim at Matt Dunlap, Democrat dominated in Maine's 2nd congressional district, a Democrat-controlled open seat in a mostly rural district. President Trump carried in the past three elections that the National Republican congressional candidate is heavily targeted.
On the coverage? What do you mean on the coverage? There's nothing. Oh my God! No, there it is!
Dunlap endorsed Plattner and appeared with him at a campaign event days before Maine's June 9th primary. Out of touch freak Matt Dunlap might be okay with Nazi lovers and men who abuse women, but in November, he'll see for himself that Maynard's March. Dunlap's embrace of this vile movement is disqualifying. And RCC spokesman Maureen O'Toole on Monday amid of wave Democrats calling Plattner to Folkwards. Dunlap said in a statement that the allegations reported today are serious and they serves retreat with the gravity they warrant. As such, I'm calling Graham Plattner to withdraw from the race for Senate, and so we can all come together behind a nominee who can successfully carry the torch in November. In the neighboring background, New Hampshire's and RCC take aim at Stephanie Shane, the polling frontrunner in the September primary in the state's 1st congressional district, another crucial swing seat that is among roughly 2 to 3 dozen that will determine if the GOP holds its race or House majority in the midterms. Granted, senators will Paul James, the Cowboy, Federer, Paul Jono, argued. Shane never endorsed Bladner, but did not explicitly condemn him until Monday when she said in a statement that the allegations of sexual abuse are extremely disturbing, gratifying, and extraordinary. I stand with the woman who bravely came forward to the Shane campaign to lawsuits visual Republicans are being hypocritical and points President Trump as an example of double standard. Having Shane called for gratifying Trump Republican acts are told hypocrites. Association Donald Trump, even after he was forced to pay millions in damages to a woman he sexually abused. Shane campaign managers Emma Greenberg told Fox's Digital they have nothing to say about the 20 women accused Trump of sexually abusing them. So they kept to keep taking on Donald Trump's corrupt self-dealing, massaging along with the hacks who keep enabling it. The general election winner with the congressional race with wills to see full-term Democrat Representative Chris Pappas, who's running for the Senate this year. Former GOP Senator John Sununu, the Republican front runner in that race, took at Pappas over what he charged were the failures of Chris Pappas when he kills a grand player. The state follows a cultural piece on Pappas' plan. By the assertively in New Jersey, New Hampshire journal, Pappas, who's never endorsed Pappas, he was also took social media on Monday. I was saying that the allegations against Grandpa are reprehensible and he must step aside. The Pappas campaign has also urged someone to who is backed by Trump is being hypocritical.
Oh, this has got to be a good one. This has got to be a good song. The Guardian, look.
Donald Trump was found liable for sexual abuse and also bragged. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Harassed by women and girls in his public defamed intimate survivors, and it's mentioned in the Epstein files over 38,000 times. And John Sale accepted. What's the humor? Fuck. This website's ass. Sorry. There's Chris Pappas for Senate spokesman Pearson said Chris Pappas called on society President still stands with Donald Trump. They are not the same. The Senate showed up for the Democratic controlled seat in New Hampshire is one of the roughly a dozen races that will return if Republicans retain their majority in the chamber. Democrats question how effective efforts are pushed by the GOP to fund as ammunition may be with voters this autumn. Background district voters don't care about Grand Platinum. CJ won the redistricted at the House majority. Supporting congressional Democrats told Fox News official stated to for Republicans broke the cause by passing toxic agenda of tariffs, new wars, and dosing healthcare cuts. Meanwhile, Democrats are running on making life more affordable and root out corruption. November, we're going to win. Wow, that was a lot to read. I hope that, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm a fiscal conservative, I'm a conservative libertarian. I support, low spending, fiscal conservative, small government, no wars, hands off government, free market capitalism, closed borders, getting the worst out. So, but if I was the Democrats, I wanted to beat Trump. I would try to get like a moderate. You can't get a far left tanky in there. They're just not fucking successful. You can find someone that have any personal baggage, or and need to get like a centrist, like who's basically in the middle on conservative issues and liberal issues. That's their way. If they want to be like Trump. So, I don't pay a lot of attention to what's going on in Maine, but that's what I would do if I was them. But the problem is the Democrats are pushing a lot of centers out of their own party and take over by the radical socialists. So, see what happens. We'll see what comes in November. It's like 4 months till the midterms. See something else. Oh, we saw that. Those are those Thomas messages about there could be no plus Trump here. That is actually true. Thomas Massey sucks that Thomas Massey didn't win his primary. But didn't like it because Massey that the FC thought that this is against the rules and against the regular so basically trying to plant seeds. Here's what good. Thomas Massey criticized President Trump and Republican lawmakers over Obamacare on Wednesday, suggesting that could be how he refers to as Trump party. Why is one called Trump here? Our own party has made no serious efforts to repeal Obamacare and legalize affordable healthcare insurance after taking control of the House and Senate. Massey relaxed these right. They've been talking about getting rid of Obamacare for 15 years. They've done nothing to get rid of it. Trump is talking about getting rid of Obamacare for 10 years. Every time, every election says, I'm 2 weeks to come with money healthcare plan. And it never happens. Why? Because the green says it riches insurance often can't get true. As a user responded to Congress what happened. How can things get done without votes? Is Trump able to do on its own? Massey replied that the president has endorsed literally every Republican who wants to keep Obamacare. That's probably true. White House spokesman Kush C said that in a statement to Fox News Digital, this is honestly uninformed to make no president some more to take on big concern citizen as a special interest groups in President Trump. No, he hasn't. It's no taxpayer funded subsidies and taxpayer dollars for hospitals Republican from federal programs. Meant to help nonprofits and more than the Trump administration continues more effort to work with Congress to pass the president's great healthcare plan that will slush cause increased transparency for every American. Massey was also Republican primary, backed Trump's backed challenger Ed Gallery for Navy. So, yeah, this guy never debated Thomas Massey. Never heard this guy until like 2 months ago, and he back on a rage scientist. I agree with Thomas Massey. I do. The Republicans have been talking about Obamacare for the last 15 years. They've never come up with their own idea to replace Obamacare. Trump's been trying to replace Obamacare for 10 years. I know his first term, they tried to group the Affordable Care Act and John McCain voted for the Affordable Care Act. I don't know if I'll say that pissed Trump off back in 2018. But Massey is right. Obamacare is basically how this benefit law insurance companies because when the Affordable Care Act was actually passed, they like United Healthcare, Pfizer, trying to think about their healthcare insurance, but basically every healthcare insurance agency stocks skyrocketed. They actually skyrocketed people's premiums, went up after full care was passed. People were getting $5,000 a month for not Obamacare. Some people's premiums went from like say $600 to like $1,200. It's you know, I like trying to Trump to keep some alternatives to Obamacare. With Trump on X, it's like big kind of scam. It's mainly like a lot of fat drugs and synthetic and cosmetic drugs. It's not been really like actual like medicines for people with great sleep and health conditions. It can, they can get like blood pressure meds, somebody like inhalers, like insulin pumps, like that stuff, insulin. But they have not put it on there just yet. So I think we should have free market healthcare. I think it should be up to like the official how they want to pay their healthcare. If they want to get it paid by their employer, or if they want to just create separate accounts for their own healthcare, it should be up to them, not to the government. Because socializing has a different work. Just go with for like critical in the hospital, and you waited almost 8 hours to be put in the actual computer. It is socialized medicine. You have to wait like months on end if you you break your leg or something like that. So, no, I'm not for the government on healthcare because it's been kind of a disaster. It may be more expensive. It's fairly efficient too. So, but they're both in shit, get more funding for like stem research for like, diabetes, for like AIDS, cancer, Alzheimer's, Down syndrome. We spend the money on healthcare, but we don't fix the problems. We just live on like politics. I think that shit has to stop. It's just in my opinion, just very ridiculous. So, there's some lines that we go look at. It's from like these from Russia, but we go look at it. This is about straightforward scheme could derail one for all nations' bright future. These are online. Any maelstrom of noise over Iran and actions around which there has been much less discussion of the country on the other side of the contested online. Over the course of the conflict, Iran had been somewhat mag active while they done shit actually. Well, cooperating with the United States as a mediator. It also has displayed an openness to journal exclusiveness clause on shipping to the Strait. This thing did instead of a mistake on like the Oman as a bright, promising future due to the recent effective technology performance and opportunity to join the growing regional information against Islamic Republic's consent of the only people should embrace this path to great freedom, opportunity, and prosperity. Despite these geographically put them on the other side of the strait, there are plenty of routines of the government. With Ron makes no sense for Oman. In the 26th edition of the Heritage Foundation's Index of Economic Freedom, an annual benchmark reports that compares entrepreneurial Japan and resilience economies of countries around the globe. Owen has made a splash by achieving the second best score of the group behind Jaguar and Argentina. And impressive 19 places, three not globally to more like economically. Which transformed advancement budget for ongoing economic expansion and strain under the elements facing the 2040 framework. Fiscal consolidation and more effective performance finance has helped reduce the debt to less than 40% of the GDP. Legal reforms focus on ensuring greater transparency and accountability. They have impressive conduct corruption. In addition, opening online business and greater foreign investment has also contributed to the country's success as a result of the international monetary financings of Oman's GDP per capita is $21,645 and 9% This is a happy state of affairs could not be further from this disastrous economic dysfunction. Another despite having the second largest employer to say nothing significant natural gas was to especially black is which are not Iran's economy was the only compound for the origins epic theory. Things are now for reverse. 10 years after the welcome on the state's dedicated to our economic money question was around 7%, now it's at 50% of the prices. Jesus, 50%. Our inflation around 4.2%. We're suffering. Imagine like at 50. Holy shit, that would be just fucking.
Do you have the gut to defy muscle loss?
So
Muscle Plus, strength that
Please
starts in your
don't
gut.
die if there's an inflation.
You've never tried
Never
popcorn.
get to that point. It was so catastrophic. You're about to 50% inflation. The economy will legit collapse. You're
Try the white cheddar first.
Look at him the first 3 weeks. Yeah, the thing is, there were 2 and 1 hitting him.
sorry, don't be back to the topic. The price of food was at 100%. Oh my god. Having risen, poverty rates have risen dramatically with millions more that default into poverty in common months. Officials' estimates put unemployment about 10%, a lot higher. But the thing is, assessments put it over 25% of young people bearing the brunt of adult losses as the range of capital is losing $3,415. Less than of all men's and 6% decrease from 2025, which makes only recent equate of population of the laws confounded. The two countries recently had high-level discussions in Muscat to serve their joint sovereignty over the waterway and ability to demand payment for ships. Past all trust of in diplomatic language. In official statements as security requirements of things. The reality is that state-sponsored blackmail on the official energy flush withdrawal, such as money grubbing schemes, are understandable for increased money. Operation was greatly the package was open. Instead of timid, for very global crash, and money for the rest of the U.S. and Sanchez oil military attack was strapped on work, which has done to transfer to the very future. The next pragmatic step should be further embrace the critical economic freedom to offer the package. Further summit of the straight and belonging price, which would only increase the attractiveness further bulletin sports call for everything from international tankers from Gulf nations to U.S. Navy vessels. Could also be a critical collaboration race established ultimate infrastructure run straight, which will eventually be flowing out in the cold. Going into business, we're willing to impose restrictions and tolls on ordiners would fatally undermine this opportunity for Oman, which could wind up isolated from the rest of the region, along with Iran. Recent shows of the Gulf Cooperation Council In Peru, which Secretary of State Marco Rubio offers a much better alternative for Almond. Wherever we find ready junior boards, as the unique flashy economic opportunities and the foreign reductive prosperity partners and contact with the United States for a degree of good this time. Now, something I want to see is Almonds to ensure its transformative trajectory. I hope the Almond keeps saying that's incredible. That they're for good climate lines, their rates like 19, the world and economically, professionally, that's incredible. That's really incredible. They've made one economic expansion strides. They've had a 19% growth in GDP. That's really good. It'd be good if it'd be a good thing. That we make partners with all the Gulf countries, like the UAE, Saudis, Oman, Qatar. It'd be nice. Hopefully, like one day we can be friends with Iran. We can start trading with it again. We can invest. But the problem is that they're just fucking crazy. So it's good. Hopefully they continue that. So. Hopefully it continues for them, right? So, yeah, I hope that it continues for them. Is there any more? I think that's kind of it on that. Policy might be Oklahoma launches missiles and realigns the Gulf states.
That quarterback in that stadium.
We need a bigger prize, boys. We need a bigger fish to
I go look at the fields on YouTube. Let's look. Americans are not giving up on NATO, but we expect you to do is share and say let's go this article, then we'll get some other stuff. Just give a second. There we go. For years, the Europeans have, as a version of the same question, the United States would make committed to NATO's sharp rhetoric about allies and willingness to do more living shared in the burden of defense, spending as race down to the future of the transatlantic relationship itself. Yet the latest Reagan Institute summer survey suggests that the reports of NATO divides in American politics are greatly exaggerated. This nationwide U.S. public opinion poll conducted in the Great Chairman of 2026 NATO summit in Ontario feels a broad and assuming base for the support of the alliance among the American people, including many who are often assumed to be skeptical about U.S. engagement abroad. This headline for me should reassure allies across Europe, safely to believe that keeping the United States and NATO matters to American security and prosperity, and includes majority of both Democrats and Republicans. It also excludes 61%. Identified macro Republicans and particularly portrayed as the most to Americans' traditional alliance. NATO's collective defense principle is also offered as safe to say. Americans say that it would support the United States responded with military forces if they made a more negative help the 600% support this clear on Article 5 commitment. These numbers are telling the foreign sort of saying that NATO is not shared viewpoint to United States does for Europe. is a strategic alliance that advances American interests by deterring adversaries, protecting security, and ensuring that the United States does not face global threats alone. At the same time, the circuit also highlights the economy. European leaders should not ignore support for NATO as not uniform across the American political landscape. Although 55% of Americans oppose withdrawal from the United States from the alliance, bottom line, MAGA Republicans 60% support U.S. withdrawal from NATO. These findings point to a paradox in the message Americans are sent to European alliance. Allies, many Americans are skeptical of NATO, nevertheless support the practical outcomes to the alliance. Whether they fear NATO is a commitment to U.S. security, they support defend allies and attack. But at the same time, they have no question about the institution itself. U.S. participation. What does that tell us about the future of America's commitment to NATO programs?
Let me see if I can go back
U.S.
and
support for the alliance. While depend less on abstract arguments about translating military and more tangible evidence that the alliance is prepared to meet today's challenges, adapt to evolving security threats, and America's policymakers from both parties have argued that American allies should assume a greater share of responsibility for transatlantic security increases their own domestic defense spending. Russia's force self-ship control is so later that President is promoting significant investment spending, especially in Eastern Europe. But now the alliance has entered a new phase. Every ally is meeting with Wales. As they keep doing that, they will summit guideline of spending 2% of GDP on defense. They still go 5% GDP for Western's NATO summit. It reflects with recognition that the security economy has fundamentally changed. The alliance requires investments in military readiness, modernized capabilities, and industrial capacity. The significance of this commitment extends beyond defense when it has become a political test in the United States. Many Americans, particularly those who are skeptical about the founding of the U.S. alliance, are not judged NATO on its founding principles, funding declaration or strategic concepts. They are judging by performance. The question moving forward will be, are America's allies making meaningful investments in their own defense so our alliance is prepared to meet evolving security challenges together. The NATO summit in Ontario is the latest testing ground for this question. And allies have demonstrated measurable progress towards these commitments. So I changed my song up there. Okay. Wrong tab, boys. Sorry. They've made a big move in 2025 total defense and security spending has already reached around 4% of GDP just a year later. There are early indicators that will increase spending will accelerate procurement, enforce moderation, to strengthen defense industrial production, and deliver the capabilities required to deter aggression. No one in Europe should view this as a concession to American political pressure. It's an investment long term. Health of the alliance, the defense moderation industrial based growth will directly benefit security and economies of European countries, not just in the United States. On the U.S. side, the Trump administration national security strategy focused on enabling Europe to stand on their own feet, improve by taking nationalization votes of defense should not refuse the United States welcome. Boy, from mail, rapid is opportunity to the European parts to play to the role. I should agree with that. As a Secretary General Mark Rutte put when he spoke at the Reagan Institute in Washington earlier this year, this is a move from unhealthy codependence to a transatlantic alliance grounded in partnership. The strongest argument, even within NATO, is not rare, is results if European allies continue to strengthen their defense capabilities and make tangible progress towards the transatlantic burden shift. They will reinforce the case that NATO remains indispensable to American security and prosperity in the area of political concerns on both sides of the Atlantic that they may be the most important investments to realize. Very interesting. I don't hate NATO. Honestly, I'm not a globalist or anything. I think we should focus like more American first and less like stuff overseas. Obviously, I don't think we should be involved in our country's wars. I don't think we should. Be doing foreign aid on the taxpayer money should go to the country. I think we should stay in NATO. I keep kind of know that America always has to be the world's police. I don't wish that Europe could stand more than feet. Also, I think you should be like more like investment, economic investment, with like in the European countries, constantly get involved in military action. So, but I agree that there should, as people were in G, we help them out. We help them out in World War II. We help them with what was the war that Bill Clinton guys trying to Belarus? Yeah, we help them out with Belarus with Bill Clinton. We've been given like money and like weapons to Ukraine. So I think they should be more than fair share. But I think we should do more economic investment with like Europe and also like sending our taxpayer money to fund like wars, like in like Russia and like Ukraine and all that stuff. It's just like my opinion on that. So, all right. What's else? That's just okay. It's not good. It's in the videos on YouTube channel. You should wait. Just go do that, okay? Oh shit! Oh guys! Bro, I get the football fox. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Bro, shit. Oh my god. I've been reading articles about you. Well, you've heard me talk about it, so that's my bad. Guys, I'm sorry. You're probably like, what the fuck's this guy doing? Oh, man, I don't need to do that. It's fucking hilarious. My bad, guys. I'll probably switch tabs. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Oh, that's embarrassing, dude. There we go. Let's see. Alright, I'm on the right tab. Bro, I didn't realize I was still on the X tab. Oh, I'm such an idiot.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. I didn't
Under
even do
cloud
that.
storage, that's a lot to carry.
Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Clean
She was thinking, dude, I was reading articles to myself. Bro, I was showing them I'm such an idiot. Well, you heard me talk. You guys heard me talk about it at least. So that's it. That's it. Trying to see what I did to it. I don't think it's been doing new LeBron stuff. LeBron quiet here, man. We were definitely going to get the Charlie Kirk trial stuff also. Alright, I'm gonna watch this one, okay?
Oh my God.
I will begin in D.C. Madeline Rivera for the latest on the Middle East matter.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. Iran says it attacked U.S. targets in Kuwait and Bahrain in retaliation to that second round of U.S. strikes. CENTCOM says it hit about 90 Iranian military targets, including air defense systems, coastal surveillance assets, and missile and drone storage sites. U.S. forces say they are trying to degrade Iran's ability to attack commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz after Tehran hit 3 ships earlier this week. The latest tit for tat comes as President Trump claims the ceasefire is over. Yet he also insists the attacks don't mean a return to war, and he indicates he will allow the peace talks to continue.
It's sort of crazy, to be honest with you. They're sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control, but they want to make it here. Badly.
Iran remains defiant. Their top negotiator saying America still hasn't learned that bullying and breaking promises are no longer cost-free. Let me put it plainly. If you strike, you'll get hit. Don't flail around pointlessly and you'll sink even deeper. The Strait of Hormuz will only open with Iranian arrangements, not American threats. A spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry is also warning of grave consequences to U.S. allies that have helped with the strikes in Iran, saying Mark Rutte's repeated admissions of Europe's willful complicity in the U.S.-Israeli war of aggression against Iran only confirms once again that they were not impartial in this brutal, unlawful aggression. Yet the NATO Secretary General's relentless self-congratulation for serving an illegal war of choice does not reflect strength. It exposes the servile mindset of a fawning courtier who fancies that flattery can raise a king's contempt. The rhetoric and mixed messages raising questions about whether a peace deal can actually be achieved. Pauline Todd.
Questions indeed. Madeline Rivera, live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you. All right, let's bring in senior fellow at the Independent Women's Forum and Council on Foreign Relations member, Dr. Kanta Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So it would seem that Iran is willing to risk escalation to the United States in order to maintain control of the Strait of Hormuz. So this memorandum of understanding was a way to buy some time. That time may be coming to an end here.
I think Iran has been very clear in its actions. It is looking for war. It is not moving towards any kind of reconciliation with the region or the United States. The strikes last night are very significant. The focus has been on Hog Island in the media. That's about the size of JFK, 15 miles off the coast of Iran. It's where Iran exports and loads millions of barrels of oil. But the targets have been on nearby islands, Keshem Island, which is like Iran's floating aircraft carrier, infested with IRGC, fast boats, tunnels, all of their weapons, and the United States has struck that tremendously well. Also, Abu Musa, an island that belonged to the UAE in 1971 that's occupied by Iran, and most likely some of these strikes have been staged from the UAE with the U.S. to that region. So this is President Trump and our military tightening the noose on Iran, bringing it to understand that we really have you by the throat, we have you by the jugular, and we are going to pressure you to release the Strait of Hormuz and defang the military defense of Hog Island, the oil exporting area.
Those specifics that you just mentioned, will that break them? And if not, what more do we need to break them?
I think the United States has extraordinary capabilities. While President Trump has been open to reconciliation, he's sending his negotiators. I think on July 11th, there's going to be more talks in Islamabad, led by our diplomats. He's very clear that Iran cannot be a nuclear power and cannot continue to jeopardize the whole Gulf region. Iran is attempting to hold hostage all of the world's oil infrastructure in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, even Iraq's export capability. And there is much more that we can do. We can, and we have data on all of the missile cities that are around in 29 of Iran's 31 provinces. We can go more aggressively for various infrastructures that impact, unfortunately, power, energy, water. We are holding them to account. And we can see just this week, the Ayatollah's funeral has been held in ceremonial processions in Iraq. That is Iran projecting power in the region. That's the center of Shia religion, those important places in Iraq. So Iran is now no longer run by clerics. That is led by military nationalists. So this is becoming hardline, and we are meeting them with force, and we will bring them to heel.
So Iran retaliated by striking, they say, Bahrain and Kuwait. Talk to us about where our Gulf allies stand right now when it comes to this renewed fighting.
It's a great question. And I think this may have been underpinning some of the tensions in NATO. Our Gulf allies are vulnerable because they're home to some of those valuable infrastructure that the world's energy depends on. They also have around them, around the shores, hundreds of desalination plants that the region depends on for drinking water. And so the United States is hoping, and Britain is stepping up, that we have more capabilities in the Persian Gulf, British capabilities, French, and so forth. But France and many of the NATO allies want to wait until the war is over, and that's not acceptable.
One final question before we let you go. It's the number one question that Carly and I get asked when it comes to the war in Iran. Can we end this war without boots on the ground?
So I feel we have remarkable capabilities and we have extraordinary allies. Particularly, let's bring to attention the allies of the United Arab Emirates and Israel, which has not been fairly represented. It's been criticized publicly. So I do think we can put more pressure without endangering American lives further. However, with the amphibious assets in the region, I would not be surprised if after we've neutralized some of the defenses around these critical islands, that the United States troops, our Marines, may actually take some ground in order to increase pressure. That's not on mainland Iran. That's on those critical regional allies, which will open up the energy flows for the region.
Well, the president says the ceasefire is over, but that does not mean a return to war. So it's a fine line, and we are seeing how this country is walking it right now. Dr. Ahmed, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your insight very, very much. All right.
So we begin this morning in the Middle East as the military carries out a second night of airstrikes against Iran.
Greg Palcott joins us live from London with the latest on Iran.
God, it was fucking hot.
President Trump promised it, and the U.S. military delivered. Another night of airstrikes against Iran. CENTCOM saying some 90 sites were hit, including port cities along the Persian Gulf coast, an airport, and bridges further inland. The second night in a row of U.S. targeting. And that was followed again by Iranian strikes against U.S. military locations in 3 Gulf nations, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. Missiles and drones used in those attacks. All this disruption of the temporary ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. triggered by Iranian hits on 3 ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz earlier this week. Iran thinks it still has control there. On his way back from a NATO summit in Turkey, here's what President Trump said on Air Force One.
It's sort of crazy, to be honest with you. It's sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control, but they want to make it badly.
In response, Iran's top negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, posted, America still hasn't learned that bullying and breaking promises are no longer cost-free. Let me put it plainly, if you strike, you'll get hit. Actual negotiations between the two sides regarding the 14-point memorandum of understanding had been paused for Iran's funeral proceedings for its former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, killed in the first days of the conflict. The body, which had been carried in processions in next-door Iraq as well as Iran, is set to be buried today in his hometown of Mashhad. Folks, it's not clear whether all of this means the restart of full-scale conflict. Trump did add that anything that happens is going to happen very fast. Indeed, it is. Back to you.
Well, thanks so much, Greg. And then the day before was 70, so over 150 strikes in 2 days. I'd like to know the details of it. We don't have the details of it, but the one thing is pretty clear. Whoever signs the 60 days memorandum of understanding on the Iranian side, they don't have any power. So we should not even pretend that they do. So let's just say the speaker's sincere, the foreign minister's sincere, that they hate us, but they don't want to fight us. They want to be able to unfreeze their funds. They want to be able to sell their oil at market rate. And let's say they want to control the Strait, but they know that that would be problematic. The guy that's making the decisions is a guy from the IRGC, this Ahmed Fakir. So we should not sit down with everybody else. This guy's as evil as it gets. But if we don't deal with him, we should not deal with anyone, because the supreme leader is too scared or too disfigured to come out of his bunker. Doesn't even go to his dad's funeral, so forget about him. So it's about this guy who's running the Quds Force and the IRGC commander. So because either these guys don't control it, or they're just talking out of both sides of their mouth, but they refuse, as of this hour, they refuse to give up their gradual control of the Strait, which is going to be a fee and toll system. And if you look at the memorandum, the MOU, it says that they're going to be managing this Strait. We're not going to allow it. And that's fundamentally what happens. They hit 3 ships, and they've absorbed 150 shots.
So part of the problem is that after we took out all the leaders, at least the first 2 levels, the Iranians had a goal, and the supreme leader left a plan to decentralize power. And I think this is by design. He realized that it would have brought them to the hill, and the IRGC has all the weapons, and they're firing on these shipping containers. And they realize, because of what we've telegraphed through the media, that the gas prices are going to be affected right there. And so they hope to pressure the president to make policy decisions strictly on the gas price. And I think the president is annoyed with them right now. He realized that there are a bunch of liars. He's always realized that. But I also think there has been credible threats against his life. And it shows, Emily, that the president was quite angered by that yesterday.
Indeed. And he still has economic and many military options. So those that consider this an escalation leading to, quote, war, the reality is that they have quite a large hierarchy of decisions militarily that simply show the Iranians that when you strike, in the words of Vice President J.D. Vance, we will hit the hell out of you back. And the triage necessary right now is to maintain the Strait of Hormuz so that it's not subjected to piracy. Right? We have to ensure the economic and the sort of navigable benefit of the Strait of Hormuz, because right now, if Iran is in control, that has that global impact. And when we harness the energy possible from it, then we show we, A, don't need them, but also that the rest of the world is aligned with us in ensuring that they don't hijack it.
If you don't want to be doing this up until November, you got to hit them hard now in July. You know, everyone's like, oh, it's too close to the midterms. They said that in May. So now it's getting, you know, you hit them hard, give them everything. Now it's getting closer, but still, it's still July. But the smaller hits, let's talk about it, probably work on Iran's behalf, because there's reports they want to make President Trump Jimmy Carter. They hurt Jimmy Carter, stopped him from getting reelected. Ronald Reagan comes in. They wanted Carter out. They want Trump out, but they can't get him out. You know what they would do? They would take away a lot of his power by flipping the House and Senate by making gas prices high. That's why July is so important. That's why 150 strikes shows the president's not more concerned about security than he is gas prices. but he should just hit them hard, and the price of oil goes up, but it'll eventually go down when we solve this problem. Retired Vice Admiral, Navy SEAL, Robert Harwood, grew up in Iran, led invasions in Afghanistan and Iraq, member of the Jinsa Iran Policy Project, joins us now. So when you listen to the president, you think he's evolved to where you're at, and that is you can't trust these people. They don't have legitimate aims, and they got to be stopped.
Without a doubt, Brian. And my phone was blown up yesterday from all my Iranian contacts. They're all true. They know the opportunity the president has. His use of force here is already reinstated that. It's also illustrated how weak the Iranians is in that they have not responded. And everyone knew at the end of the day from the historical content that Iran has never capitulated on anything. They've only worked to enhance their position, their financial status, and the president understands this. I think he's come to that realization. And this first step of reconstituting the blockade is a critical component of that. He can now leverage all the elements of power, not only military, but more importantly, financial, and I think illustrated from his time in Ankara, to build political support internationally and domestically to finish the job and go after the government of Iran.
So if you could pretend I'm a student at your war college class, let's take a look at this region. We hit 150 different targets over the last 48 hours. Where would you be looking at that would really get the attention of the Iranians? And that's usually in their wallets.
Well, again, I start outside the Gulf itself. We're usually in Chabahar, a city called Jask. That's risk-free almost. It's the hardest point in Iran for them to supply. There's a major port there. Start there. Take it out. Put boots on the ground if you have to. If you put any boots on the ground, I know there's risk involved with that. The message to the population of Iran that America is serious, that they're going to finish this thing, is the indicator. So I work my way up into the Gulf, towards Keshem, towards Bandar Abbas, those areas, and all along the Gulf. Control that, and you can control Iran.
All right, so let's take a look at another map, because this is going to be some of the target-rich areas. But as we look at a different map, this is where the blockade was. This is what the Iranians want to control. What would we have to hit to push the Iranians back out of that?
All of those places in Iran, and starting with the choke points.
Is this all mountainous, and are there rockets buried there? Are there drone sites?
Whatever, but that topography is your issue. That's the hardest part for Iran to supply, support, especially if you blockade and nothing's coming up. Move anything south from Tehran, from Tabriz, any of those other locations to reinforce and support that is difficult. So it leaves those assets on their own, dependent on those supplies and stuff they receive. And so we can easily control that. So yes, work your way up the Gulf, take out the coastline, but ultimately also hold Tehran at risk as well.
The capital, because that's where the so-called brain trust is, which before this conflict started, they couldn't even deliver water. So I don't know what they're dealing with now. Admiral, we'll have to see where this goes, because now it is back to kinetic military operations, and it doesn't look like the IRG cares much, even if the foreign minister and speaker do. Admiral.
This is a shit show. Like I said, Trump's never winning. I think he stays having against the war since he started. I knew that, like, Trump winning, this was going to be like another endless war. He's going to be in there for a lot longer than he wanted to. And he basically thought it was going to be like Venezuela. He's going to be in and out, you know, so full of shit. So I was like, that's why you should kill the eye. I totally really be out of there. It's not how it works. They didn't realize that. They did kill the eye. Totally kill Kanye, like, on the first day. You know, they killed a decent, like, you know, like a decent amount of their military leadership, obviously, in the Navy. But they didn't realize that Iran, you know, they're tough people, like, they're running government full of tough people. And they, you know, won't, like, put up with the big fights. They won't fucking push around like the United States. that's what it decided. Like the next day, oh, all right, Trump, we're gonna close the strait. We're gonna basically hold the global energy market hostage. We're gonna hold the economy hostage. We're gonna make recovery rates go down to shit. It's gonna make you look bad. It's gonna make you want desperate to make a deal. That's the reason why they don't want to get peace deal, because they know if they keep continuing this war, people like attacking the Gulf countries and stuff like that. It would basically piss Trump off and start attacking them. That's what the Iranians want. So if Trump keeps attacking, he starts researching military action, right? Or he decides he really could like ground troops. See, conflicts would go down even a lot worse. Gas would skyrocket. It'd be a lot more, like $6, and it'd be like a global energy crisis. It will play right into the Iranians' hands. So I'm not that surprised. Sadly, I predicted this war is still going to continue to go on. I just remember Seth Rollins said, "Oh, no worries, guys, it's 2 weeks," and he said 4 weeks. Then it said 6 weeks. It's been almost 5 months, man. We're still in the war. I never trusted MOU, because we never even, like, that agreement was never trust. They accepted it either, because Israel kept attacking Lebanon and kept pissing Iran off, and they wanted to stop talking with us, and also when J.D. Fancy and Whitcomb and Kushner went to Switzerland last month. Trump got mad at Iran for the strait. They were trying to blow up, basically trying to keep their entire they're Iranian diplomats, and the diplomats stormed out the meeting with J.D. France. So if he wants end the war, right, he needs to send better people. He can't send J.D. France and Kushner and Whitcomb. They have no foreign experience. Kushner and Whitcomb are both fucking real estate, just doing fucking business deals in reality. Just what Trump's business is. He needs to send Rubio, send in some people from the Secretary of State Department. Send Trump's generals, send the generals, send some ammo people there to negotiate the RGC. So, the whole thing seemed like this shit, and I'm not very surprised. So, will there be ground troops? I don't know. I know Trump wouldn't be able to get the votes for ground troops because, the last couple months, Congress is trying to block Trump on military action. So, also, last time we put in ground troops, we went to Iraq and Afghanistan, but we went to also put in Iraq on false pretenses over that we don't have weapons of mass destruction. Also, it was never true. And also, we don't have enough like that. All right, so let's move on.
Bring back Fox News.
Just been more about the Charlie Kirk stuff on the Charlie Kirk still going on. There's been showing more evidence. Basically, Taylor Ross is the one that showed Charlie Kirk and all these fucking dumbass conspiracy theories saying, that Israel killed him. They're proving that it's making Kaz also be a retard. So let's just go react to this.
Contributors Donna Rotuno and Josh Ritters. Josh, I want to play this out. This is more from Satu guys. This is Twigs. When he details meeting Tyler Robinson. Listen here.
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate.
This is Tyler Robinson's roommate.
I knew he knew my friend group, and I knew he liked playing games, but that's about it.
At some point, your relationship progressed to something more than just roommates, though, right? When was that?
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Josh, while there was a lot of lead up to this, and we weren't really sure what this relationship was, how it was defined, how and when it came together.
Clearly, we heard in that interview, they moved in together, and 2 or 3 months later, they began dating. So confirming in that interview that this was a romantic relationship.
Chief Justice for Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and Nareem Cartwright.
Yeah, and think about how powerful that's going to be for the jury, too. This is not a person who just knew him casually. This was a person who was intimately involved with Tyler Robinson, and this person is willing to testify about everything that Tyler Robinson told him. I mean, we have a lot of evidence. I think all of us have made that clear today, that we all believe that there's plenty of evidence, certainly for this hearing and even at trial. You're talking about the DNA, the surveillance video, the ballistics, everything else. But the evidence of words out of the defendant's own mouth, whether that comes through another witness or in the form of text messages, those, in my view, are the most powerful to jurors, because they may be able to understand how DNA might be placed somewhere or ballistics might be twisted around. But when somebody is admitting to something, there's really no lawyering you can do to get around that. And this, what we've heard today, is, in my view, the cornerstone of the entire prosecution case.
Yeah, and Donald, let me put to you the question I put to Paul Morrow in that vein. The fact that in the interview, Lance Twigg says, I met with Tyler the next day and asked him if what he told me the night before about, yes, he did it, he killed Charlie Kirk, was true, and he said yes. I mean, full stop. That's one-on-one in-person witness. That's not hearsay evidence. That's not a text message. That's not, I was told over the phone. That is in person. He said, yes, he did.
Yeah, it's very compelling. I mean, it's like the slam dunk of the case, right? He's almost giving him an opportunity to take the statement back. And remember, in those text messages where he first makes this admission and this statement, he says, I meant to delete that, or I tried to delete that. So in the moment of sending it, he's realizing the damaging nature of what he just did. And it's almost as if Lance Twiggs didn't want to believe it. And the next morning, it's like he had to look at him and hear it from his own mouth to make sure what he was reading and what he saw on that note under the keyboard was actually true. Josh, they'll be back at like 3:30 Eastern Time. It's about 36 minutes from now. The focus has been on this judge, this newish judge, throughout all of this. Your thoughts on that?
Given how slowly everything has progressed, and given how much the judge allows everyone to have plenty of time to voice their arguments, I'm the prosecution. I'm having serious thoughts about coming out of this lunch break and saying, Your Honor, we're done. We rest. We feel that we've reached our burden. If the defense has some witnesses they want to put on, use the remaining time of today and all of tomorrow to try to get this thing done this week. If you have any chance of doing that, because I guarantee you this, by the way, what we're not calculating into the matrix here as far as how much time this will all take, there's still argument at the end of this. The judge is still going to allow them to make their case on whether or not that burden of probable cause, as low as it is, has been met. And these attorneys like to talk, so that could take some time.
Well, and you still have cross-examination of this witness. So the state's attorney can say, I'm done with my evidence, but who knows how long the cross-examination is going to take of the Officer Davis. Okay.
All right. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. You'll be on in the story coming right up as we get back to court. Let's bring in Carrier Bond, Fox News legal editor, for some final thoughts here. We're just getting some color here from the court when they got to the part about the rifle, discussing that he wanted to go back and get the rifle. Tyler was swinging in his chair, scratching his nose, looked uncomfortable with the text messages on the screen. Erica Kirk was looking down, leaning forward, not looking at the screen, showing the text. When they got to the part about Lance asking Tyler in the text, does he need the rifle for hunting, that kind of stuff, that's when Erica audibly began crying. Tyler's mom was also crying at that point, not audibly. She was wiping her eyes. Charlie's mom had her hand on Erica's upper arm, shoulder. They're both tearful. Just getting some of the action inside the courtroom there as all of this unfolds. And you can imagine for Erica Kirk to hear all of this, it just has to be devastating again, because it's just like right back in her face.
That's right. I mean, she's reliving the most traumatic experience that someone could potentially go through. And against the backdrop of people who are attempting to profit off of this situation by spreading lies and outrageous theories, in the aggregate, it doesn't really get much worse than what she's going through. And so I can't imagine how difficult it must be to sit there and listen to all of this. But Josh made a good point at the end of them speaking with you, which was that maybe the prosecution comes back and say, hey, look, we've given you enough. We rest, our case, so to speak, and what we're doing here. And I thought the defense attorney actually, right before they stopped for lunch, did say that they weren't going to cross-examine the agent. So that's off the table now. So, Paul Morrow made the point that there is stuff we likely haven't even seen yet that presumably they would be keeping for trial. So I don't really see the point in going, but really for anyone at this point. And the judge has what he needs. The prosecution has proffered more than enough evidence at this point. I don't see how any of this helps the defense at this point. It's just hurting them significantly. So I think everyone needs to close up shop and be done. But, given the way the judges approach this case, it's probably unlikely.
Paul, I want to bring you back in here on this, more color from the courtroom. Erica and Kathy, Charlie Kirk's mother.
I've always liked this guy.
Erica, his now widow. They were both tearing up, we were told, as Agent Davis was testifying about the letter. The letter references the keyboard letter, the letter that Tyler Robinson left under the keyboard for his roommate to sign. It was shown in court. It was a handwritten note. It was lengthy, we're told, a lengthy handwritten note, a full page. Just more incredible evidence. I mean, a full page handwritten note that clearly detailed his intentions to kill Charlie Kirk.
That's right. And as Josh Ritter made the point, that's been authenticated now by Twiggs. And Twiggs, in fact, took a photo of that note and didn't dispose of it, as Robinson asked him to do. And then, of course, you get this story that we heard, which is the next morning, Robinson starts to realize the fantasy balloon has popped, and he understands what he got himself into. I just got to go back to it. The evidence is incontrovertible, but you know what? At some point, and it doesn't matter legally, but this is very cool in a way to the family, the Charlie Kirk family. Wrap this thing up and let's go.
I pray for that.
Yeah. No real reason to keep it going. Paul, thank you to you. Carrie, thank you to you. Josh and Donna and James Galliano as well. Really appreciate it.
Hopefully it's great, Grace. I feel bad for Charlie Kirk's family, for his parents, and also Erica Kirk. Honestly, there's been a lot of things about Erica Kirk. I'm not the hugest fan of Erica Kirk. I think she's probably good with him. Attention seeker, I'm not maybe she's more dramatic. I don't think people should be fucking hating on her, just giving death threats or mocking. Because there's whackers or mocking Charlie Kirk. You say, oh, you shot the neck like Charlie Kirk. It's bullshit. And also, dumb niggas in the world, people, and it's in the media space, that is, taking up shit how Charlie Kirk died, especially cancer's the worst at it. It's basically just, it's not really good anybody else. Cancer always think fucking cancer. She's an evil, psychotic, schizophrenic fucking parasite. I don't like her. I have never liked her. She's a piece of shit. She's nothing obsessed with these. She's been spreading lies about Charlie's death. One minute she says that the Jews killed him, then next she says that Trump killed him. She said it's the whole administration killed him. So he killed him, Israel killed him, then next the Jewish space rangers killed him. Then it's next, everything's kind of dead. Then Charlie Kirk came to me in a dream. It told me that Israel killed me. It's just so fucking stupid, man. This is the same bitch that says that Emmanuel Macron's wife is a fucking man. Said she's got a dick. She's just another fucking idiot. So. Yeah, I hope that Emmanuel Macron keeps kids on his metal lawsuit. Hopefully, Erica Kirk should really do. See what the fuck out of she's fucking his profit off your husband's death. Make up a life like you. and found why your husband died. That's what I would do. You know, so she's a crazy retard. You know, she's not worth talking about. You know, I don't like her, but she's an idiot. Let's look at some stuff on X time. You know, look at some of the articles on Fox and also some videos. Destiny thinks Kyle looks better and someone's girlfriend on it. I'll probably look at it later. I'll look at Justin.
And it would spike all of them up. And so that way, it's like
I said my pros guys. I am going to look at the sneako in Alex Jones. Okay, because yesterday, it was like, well, actually Wednesday, Alex Jones and sneako defended because Alex Jones and Elon wanted to sneako. He worked his sneako was crazy Islam. So Sneako's a grifter. Sneako's always just been he's a fucking grifter. You know, he's just like basically a gold mostly chasing a grifter. So yeah, we're gonna go look at you know the banks. I think I'm just going to look at the collapse. I'm not really going to personally look at the videos. Like, it's an hour and a half long. Yeah, it's too long. Because I do want to look at some other stuff also. But I'm just like looking at like the collapse. Which one is this one? Let's look at this one.
Hated by Jewish Christian. I'm a Christian American nationalist. And white people are demonized by the left, by the Red Green Alliance, by Israel and everybody, and I'm sick of it. White people are 7% of the world population. Anglo-Saxons are like 2%.
There's no point in
I am sick of being run over, and everybody's declared war on us. I'm saying, okay, then.
You think I declared war on you?
And you want to declare
You think I declared war?
I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Chaikov. I don't care who you are. You want to fight? You fucking got one.
Okay, so you want a war? You want a crusade? Now
don't worry. You're gonna get one, pal.
You're gonna okay. Then well done. You just played into the hands of the Jewish supremacists controlling our country. Well done.
No.
That's what Elon Musk wants you to do.
It's gonna be cultural. So you can sit over there and fuck your daughters, and you can sit over there and marry a fucking 7-year-old, and you can sit over there and fuck little boys.
You're chipping out.
We want your shit out of here.
The predominant pedophile demographic in Europe, I told you, is white guys. It's not.
500,000 girls groomed by the Islamic.
250,000 was the estimated number. You just doubled it, and that's completely conflated.
500,000 now. They had it in Parliament. And here's the other thing.
500,000 estimated. Did you even look at the report?
We know Keir Starmer protected them. We know the British leadership are a bunch of pedophiles. I exposed that 30 years ago.
Sure you did. Alex Jones has been talking about the Epstein for 30 years. He's on the Epstein for he's been talking about Epstein being released. So why are the bane? So basically, Sneako, the director, you know, it's like, you know, he's Muslim, obviously. He's like a big fan of Marathon, you know, he voted Trump. He was at an Islamic parade on the 40th of an Islamic parade. He prays Islam. You know, Sneako was a stupid shit, like, stay with that. Yeah, he's okay, but a 30-year-old, you know, marry a 14-year-old. You know, it's just like, it's just fucking insane. That's what I felt like. It's like, except for her better, she wants to be released. It's pretty fucking insane. So,
Muhammad Jihad.
Stuff like that is.
What do you want me to tell you? I'm your friend, like the Quran says, and then Stab you in the back.
The Quran doesn't say that.
How about I become a Shiite with you? We take swords to cut our heads, and for 8 hours I just march you like.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Or I could be a megachurch Christian with Kenneth Copeland drinking my blood. I could be with Eric or Kirk shooting fireworks off my ass and twerking. You want me to do that? Small minority. Demonize 2 billion people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weasel from Connecticut, the mighty Mongol, the amazing, powerful, sneaky.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
You don't even have a brain.
So what makes you think you can deport me? So what makes you think you can deport me if Sean Strickland can't knock me down, huh? You can't stop me. I'm coming.
Then tell me. I'm coming.
Allahu Akbar!
The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves.
And inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
Assalamu alaikum. Marry your cousin. It's so much fun.
Really
Durka Muhammad comes from the Jewish supreme leaders. You comes from Abraham. You are the bad son. You are the bad Islamic. Bad Abraham said. You are not the chosen. No good, sneaky. You are cursed, sneaky. You are cursed to wear nightgown and marry cousins. Bye, sneaky. I love you.
Hey, stop killing.
His name is a sneaky sneako snake. All right, we love you, sneaky.
See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh my God, this is insane, bro. Oh my God, bro. Dude, I don't know, man. Our politics is literally turning to reactionary politics, dude. It's just fucking insane how dumb our politics is fucking to be. Like anybody on the far left in front, right, actually had to debate their policies and their opinions would get through. They would fucking call it liars. None of these idiots on the far right and the far left debate their fucking dumb, retarded opinions being struck them like facts. They would look like idiots. Like if someone would look like an idiot, Sneako would look like an idiot, Alex Jones would look like an idiot, Kent Owens would look like an idiot. Tom Polanski would look like an idiot. Like Mike from CA would look like so irrelevant. But anyone on both sides would look like fucking idiots. People on Fox News and shit Don Truman, Benny Johnson, Duffer Eagleman, none of their fucking dumbass like opinions would be able to like win the debates because they would get fucking cornered for their stupid retarded opinions. So but oh my God, so retarded, how dumb. I was trying to just reactionary one-liners. Nobody does that shit. Like the big facts and it was like personal insult or stupid one-liners. Oh, it's so annoying, dude. It's like, it's just a show. There's aspects like laughing Alex shows.
Oh, they so good. Oh, they so sweet. I'm gonna stab your daughter at the mall. Ooh, gonna stab your son, your wife. And the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis. We love our Muslims too. Oh, they so good. Oh, they so sweet.
There's something that says they were kind of
You don't hate me. Our country is dominated by Jewish
Christian. I'm a Christian American nationalist, and white people are demonized by the left, by the Red Green Alliance, by Israel and everybody, and I'm sick of it. White people are 7% of the world population. Anglo-Saxons are like 2%.
There's no point in
and
just
I am
preaching.
sick of being run over, and everybody that's declared war on us, I'm saying, okay, then.
You think I declared war on you?
And you want to declare
You think I
war
declared war?
Israel? I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Chaikov. I don't care who you are. You want to fight? You fucking got
Okay,
one.
so you want a war? You want a crusade? Now
Don't worry.
It's so dumb that Alex Jones get actually. It's so dumb that Alex Jones get actually would have a better chance of beating his opponents than fucking Steve. Even though Alex Jones says so much dumb retarded shit, he would stand a better chance of beating his fucking Sneako. His Sneako wasn't actual thing. Sneako was a fucking director. His opinions changed by the way. He doesn't have real because he's just like another fucking dumbass person on the internet that just says retarded shit.
You're gonna get one, pal.
Okay, then well done. You just played into the hands of the Jewish supremacists controlling our country. Well done.
No.
That's what Elon Musk wants you to do.
It's gonna be cultural, so you can sit over there and fuck your daughters, and you can sit over there and marry fucking 7-year-olds, and you can sit over there and fuck little boys.
You're chipping out.
We want your shit out of here.
The predominant pedophile demographic in Europe, I told you, is white
bullshit.
guys. It's not. This is
500,000 girls groomed by the Islamic.
250,000 was the estimated number. You just doubled it, and that's completely conflated.
500,000 now they had it in Parliament. And here's the other thing.
500,000 estimated. You even look at the report.
We know Keir Starmer protected them. We know that British leadership are a bunch of pedophiles. I said that 30 years ago.
He did. Alex Jones was talking about this. It's over. Is it really? He was talking about this before Sneako was born.
Yeah, him and Sneako used to be friends, I guess. They had like I don't know why they have fun around. I was going for a fucking there now.
But these are the legitimate real problems, right? These are the big issues in my mind, right? At least socially. We talk about gas and economics and Iran and everything else, but socially, right?
So basically, Alex Jones, said back in 2020, the same shit happens at the same shit was fake, it was real, it was done by paid actors. The parents got really upset. He got sued parents, got sued for years on the parents. Comments, basically almost like bankruptcy. I think $4 million in damages. Then he basically had like shut up InfoWars, which obviously is his main great show. Now he just was in a separate show. He was kicked off of YouTube. He was kicked off of social for years after all this.
You and the Democrat Socialist and Black Lives Matter that you supported and all the stuff that went on.
You're the woke liberals trying to get me censored. If you say,
I've seen you say if we were going to be violent.
I saw you say that the crisis actors in Sandy Hook, and look what happened. If you want to do ad homs, so let's stay on point.
Oh my God, Sandy Hook! Oh God,
let's stay on point. Let's stay on point. I went home from school that day actually because you're talking about my childhood. You said, "Why did I say?"
I hurt you as a little baby.
You said, "Why did I say if God wills it?"
I hurt you.
Okay, Alex.
Did I do something to your poopy?
Well, no, you got the trillionaire to try to put a target on my head. So yeah, well done.
Oh my
well
goodness.
Done. Well done.
Showing your teeth.
Well done.
Throat slitting. And
they don't cry about white genocide. Don't cry about.
I'm your friend. Hey, the Quran isn't a battle manual to take over. Come on, there's no imam saying that.
I don't want to hear you cry about your demographic replacement. Oh no, America's getting destroyed. Oh no, the globalists are taking over. Oh no, America's getting replaced.
Our world right to dominate the planet. No.
Oh no, the West is getting taken over. Oh no, there's immigrants here. Oh no, immigrants are here from the wars.
Oh my God. It's all just personal insults. You're not debating how fast This is how it is. You never debate about facts in politics. It was all just person goes, oh, you're fat, you're ugly, you got a small dick, you got 3 fucking nipples, you're medically retarded, you're an Asian dick sucker. It's all about personal insult. It's never about politics. I wish it's too proud to actually just actually debate about politics, pretty wide seasons with Islam. And why let's think it's okay that people feel to marry a 14-year-old American. That's what we should talk about, not these conversations. Is that really all of it? There's no writers over there's Alex John Sam, supported now. Sneako is first noted this on the stage. It's long be and it also it's in Muslim. I think that's just fucking stupid. It's insane. It really is insane. It should be deported. So God is putting in here. So besides, even if he wasn't from the surface speech, you know, the mission of the people but Sneako's an idiot. He's always been an idiot. So, like I said, he's really all wise. He's a reactionary guy.
They showed every day like this person is always trying to misunderstand things.
As you see, one of the speeches that could open a link to the nation, no book is a good deal with pirates.
Hassan looking like such a proud dad when Kaya nudged the door open. This is so cute. Looks like Kaya's trying to fucking escape from prison. Hold on.
I want to see if you can watch it.
She's probably worried that she's going to get shocked because the training or whatever is probably still from the every time she would try to like escape the room, he would electrocute her. So that's probably what she's worried about.
This footage inevitably comes out, right? Inevitably come out, you know, maybe a year from now or whatever. Like,
right, okay.
Like these people want to kill you. This is what they want to do.
Right, okay.
They want to kill you.
Open the door. Open the door. There it is.
They will. Because that's what they did with Charlie.
Holy shit.
She's brilliant.
So that's it. I think it's hilarious that they can kill us. They do. They think it's
She's
hilarious and they want to support.
That's it. She has a PhD. It's crazy.
You know, like
yeah, she's a PhD.
Dude, this dog is so terrified of him. Oh my fucking god. Jesus.
Oh man, it's so funny. Like the first review, like people get followed by something like that.
Like, I mean, I think that's really gonna be it. Yeah, it's
just
fine. Like, I mean, he's a old man. Like, I think there's somebody dying of old age. It's totally different than somebody who's accident, right? Sean, that's probably didn't know how to Kirk died. Well, obviously, what's the next thing comes in? I don't know what that means, but yeah, this is something else that needs to happen. Yeah, I mean, like, you fucking will see. I mean, again, these are also like, I wonder how many people are
It need to be streamed. If you are driving
to make sure I improve, which is like closing off chat or putting maybe the camera somewhere else and just improving in the future.
Why does it need to be streamed? If you are driving somewhere, why do you have to stream it? Just turn off the stream and then resume it when you get to the destination. I'm going to tell you something. Driving content, like just watching streamers drive, fucking sucks. It's trash anyway. Like, you would be doing your audience a favor. Give them a respite, give them a break, let them go do something else, get some food, exercise, play a game, fucking anything else, and then resume the stream when you get to the actual content. Why does it need to be streamed? Why even take that chance? Again, I don't think turning off the chat or moving the camera really solves the issue. It's just a band-aid solution to continue to infinitely broadcast and farm. But it's not the safest solution. The real solution that I think is just don't stream while driving. Because even if you're not reading the chat, you are still performing to them, entertaining them, jingling the keys, and you're not paying enough attention to the road. So just don't stream while driving. And I think a lot of this falls on Twitch's shoulders because they don't punish it harshly. There is no incentive for a streamer to actually take the safety of themselves or the other drivers on the road.
Supporting terrorism and French number one. And also, like, by the way, it's not about being fair. I don't care about being fair. I care about completely removing these people from society. That's what I care about. These people are dangerous, violent, psychotic, motorist freaks. That's what they are. They support this stuff, they advocate for it, and to the extent that we allow them to exist in society the way that they are now, they are just breeding more of them over and over and over. Crashing up, but right at the same time, I know, and they can vote, It's a huge problem. Road can we go on? Yeah, that's the way I would do it. And becoming more extreme by the day. I know there are people that are unfair, people that are unfair. I am, and so yeah, that's really it. And what is this here? Get rid of them? Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that we put up with this.
Seriously, when they can instead be making money during a drive by broadcasting it, and Twitch doesn't care. They don't actually like ban you for a meaningful duration of time. Even 30 days is clearly not enough for streamers to get the message like don't do it. One day, 1000% isn't even close to enough. It needs to just be like a blanket policy that if you're going to stream and drive, you will be banned for it. It is something that I think they need to take seriously at this point because it's just getting worse.
I agree. I think if they actually drives on the street and she crashes, she should be probably banned. She's been banned for this like 3 times. She got banned for a day. Like Aspen will take something up for his life. She got banned for a week. She should have got banned for a week. She's done this 3 times. She should have got banned for a month. So there's a lot of people, especially cases of
I do. I really like him. This is that's really good. I like that.
Growing as Spanish, stalking the magical bro. It's not exciting. You literally called. You basically said, I don't know, that it's okay for white women to get raped because it's not as bad. That you call like, you go from the people these were like fucking anyway.
Especially with the pundits
themselves. It's like, come on, bro.
I don't accept that we can only sit on our
like, you just shot your dog on the street, bro.
You can go act like
it's like, come on, dude.
And they just simply don't want to do that.
Besides, I said these things like many times. I never said it's true. I'm not a racist. Yo, but you don't hold all over you losers with that. You get the fucking you say my other half for rates like once people use that shirt, dumbass videos. Ex-OCO Ashley Sherman's plans to establish the U.S. Federal Reserve.
That's insane. Candace says that he didn't take the shot.
Appropriate. How many years do you think I need to be doing this for you to assume that this is like, appropriate?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
If 13 is not enough, then I don't think you're ever going to say that my opinion is worth a damn, which is fine. You can just click out. Perhaps it's not my credentials that you are calling into question. It's that you don't like the things that you're hearing from me. You're calling into question the credentials. Not a lot of people that do political commentary of this sort, especially on the internet, that have even remotely the credentials that I have, ironically enough, something that I don't usually bring up. Unlike my counterparts in this space, I at least graduated with a political science degree and a communication double major, ironically enough again. Many of the people, especially on the opposing side, did not even graduate from college or ever graduate with a degree of this sort. They don't even try to make it seem like they know what they're talking about. Oftentimes they will say things like, who needs reading anyway? I can just use my imagination. Do you have any qualification when you got no subs and hours? True. Please subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service, the People's Broadcasting Service. The only way to support independent media by subscribing. No ads. Subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today.
I'm not sure I want to make it. Jelly just finished the jab.
Yeah, I'm the second largest political commentator on this platform that we're on, one of the largest in North America, the largest left content creator, the largest left political commentator on the independent media side. Here's the largest on this platform. He just happens to be right wing. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Did you ever read Atlas Shrugged? No, I don't really read books. It's a waste of time. I invent my own narratives in my mind, and I just build everything off of my own fantasies.
I know he's trying to be sarcastic, but it is quite literally what he does.
I just make everything up.
I think you should do research.
The problem is you can't joke about this when you have also said it sincerely in the past, and we've also heard your commentary.
I think you should do more research on
do you like sarcasm skills? No, I know he's trying to like say this sarcastically, but he's also said it sincerely. You know what I mean? If you said it sincerely in the past, you can't just sarcastically claim it now. It just comes across as you saying it sincerely. Also, for you to say this sarcastically, you would also had to have, shown at other times that you know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, here is him saying it sincerely and not with a shred of irony or sarcasm. Here it is.
A minute, you need to research or read articles outside of Twitter. Fucking shameless, you tell others to read more. I don't need to understand whatever article you want me to read. All I need to understand is human psychology and incentives. And incentives and human psychology are the deciding factors of how people will behave. I don't need to read your little special book or your Wikipedia article or anything else besides that. None of that stuff matters. What matters fundamentally is how do people act, how do people think, and how do people respond to incentives. If you can understand that, then nothing else matters.
He's a Jungist. Yeah, he's a Professor Jungist. Professor Chung. Yeah.
No, but like, it's not like Hansi's, I have a degree in critical science, administration, human history. But dude, you're a fucking propagandist. You listen, like, I don't want that. I like to look up stuff before I say something. I'm not by some political party or any really. I'm an independent. I believe in conservative libertarian. No, it sounds like a fucking propagandist. He downplays terrorists, and they call it terrorists. And he praises China. It was crazy. We're gonna move on. It was just sad that the US would collapse. So no, he's a fucking propagandist. I don't think Morocco can't win the tournament. So France has had a no, but I think Aspen should do. Like I like Aspen, I watch him every series. I like favorite streamers. But I think Aspen should do. He does do something. I don't think he should only just like look at Rich from Axe. I do look at Rich from Axe, but I like to look at like politics from independent resources. I like to look up stuff like capitalism, like different articles, from different economics people. And I do all the research on independent sources. I think Aspen should do more of that. I know he's not really interested in that, but
They're not travel, like not to Morocco. And they're determined to stay here, and I don't want to go.
Because there's a lot of information.
Where they are clearly the best team they faced this tournament. And in my opinion, they haven't.
Well, I love that. I love the Aspen. I agree with decent amount of Aspen. There's stuff I do just like some stuff decent amounts of stuff Aspen says, but there's certain stuff I don't agree with them on. I disagree with on your wrong. Or I agree with them on like we should deport a lot of people, but we should deport because they're criminals and we should
Spain number 3, England number 4, Morocco number 6. The only what you would call outliers, Norway.
I don't even think Travis is gay.
And Switzerland's
I'm not even whenever you get on this stream, whenever you really look at that streamer genre, we're never going to do that. It's just stupid.
Look at the FIFA right now.
I'm just, whenever you do on this stream, we're not talking. We're not even these stream like channels. Can't stand it. Polish Twitch for that. Those are Twitch streamers for that shit.
Be honest, the Dusty and Michigan team is way more fun to watch.
Dude, what the is going on? What is going on in Utah, bro? What is happening in Utah?
Greatest striker.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
And
the song response is Scott James. Scott James is a conservative non-stand but just on some soup hiker after hiker to the way this boxes with great teams.
That's about
Nothing like that.
Belgium.
What percentage of the shirts every day it lowers? Every day the percentage goes down from
I need to regulate Black Ops 2. I haven't played it in years. It's arguably like every couple times off Tim. I've been watching Tim since 2014. So look at this.
Oh my god, I gotta lock in. I gotta fucking lock in. Lock it.
Striker score.
Wait, what?
Hold on. Chill.
They run like France.
Call me in the chat if I should stream it.
Nick's giving an attack. About 40 minutes ago, starting 5 up.
Maybe it's the fucking gun, bro.
I used to love my Jack. I used to try shot all the time on my Jack. So nuke now.
Use a card. You don't have to block the course. That's 5 Hall of Famers. Maxime.
I'm fighting fucking demons, bro. Look at this guy.
Joel Anthony at center. Joel Embiid.
Yes,
I don't have my loadout. These are preset loadouts. These are not my loadouts.
Oh, damn, the surrender feels true, bro. That's insane. How does someone else see UAV? It's insane.
I'm not rage quitting my first game back. I'm getting fucking spawn trapped. Silly fucking Seabass is having the time of his fucking life. Oh, dude, I thought that was a chop gunner. I was scared. I'm hanging in there. Someone get this guy out.
How's this guy going to climb all the way?
For the day. I think you can win to a certain degree like that.
I was watching
But I don't think you can win the championship when you're kind of this two types of teams at the same time playing. Because one guy's in and out. I'll also say this.
I directed these two plays right here down with something like
You seem to know exactly who Donald Trump is talking to. How do you know that?
Well, just as an American watching it play out, it certainly feels as though there's no sort of organized fashion of what's going on.
You said he's not talking to generals, that he's only talking to economic planners. I'm just asking you how you know that. It seems to be a wild assertion. I just wonder what evidence of that.
As a taxpaying American, I sit there and I watch this stuff play out within minutes after the markets close. I watch before markets open.
So no evidence. So here's what I think. I think we achieved a great military victory, and the Iranian military is devastated. I disagree with Max. I don't think they're currently on the brink of building a nuclear weapon because they can't be because of the military victory that we have achieved.
We have not eradicated their nuclear program. Like Trump said, they have 1,000 pounds of highly enriched uranium. They still have it.
Yeah, and it's buried beneath a significant amount of rock.
And they can take it out of there when they want to.
Thanks to the United States military. So that's number one. Number two,
don't mischaracterize what I said.
After the military victory, they gave diplomacy a chance. And as the president said repeatedly, he always said, I would like to have a deal. I'm prepared for them to not behave, in which case they get nothing, and we have to go back to a military option, which is where we are today. Where it ends, I don't know. There hasn't been as much volatility in the oil market the last couple of days as some people might have projected, which is a good thing. But I do think it's true that they are not interested in rational outcomes here. And this whole threat to assassinate our president, to say one other thing, for all the people out there who've been crapping on our relationship with Israel and what we do with Israel and our alliance with Israel, they gave us intelligence to help us keep our president from being assassinated. That's a good thing.
Oh, man, the whole thing is just fucking insane.
Pulisic's people made sure this got out today. Pulisic's suffered a bone bruise and muscle fracture in the tibia. He's denying he's hurt, but
that's what the whole search games let's say fucking retard. I mean, anybody that takes you seriously is also a retard. There's no one
You've seen Candace panicking? Candace is a fucking retard. Candace is a retard, and the moment, like, anybody that takes her seriously is also a retard. Like, does she say things that I agree with occasionally? Of course, a lot of people do. I mean, there are things that I agree with Karl Marx on. It doesn't mean that he's right. It doesn't mean he's not a retard. So, yeah, I mean, she's trying to make a buck off it. Well, I think that Candace Owens wrote herself into a corner with getting so extreme that she's basically attracted some of the most mentally ill people inside of her audience. And because of that, I think what happened is that she kind of, it's like once you start riding the tiger, you can't get off. You can't stop being that crazy conspiracy theory person. Once you cross that Rubicon, you don't go back to being normal. That's it. The bridge is burned. She's not wrong for asking questions. She is wrong for asking questions because they're stupid questions. Like this whole, I'm just asking questions. What if it was alien Israeli Mossad Jews that shot Charlie Kirk? No, I don't want to hear you. Oh, I'm just asking questions. It's just a question. What if it was the robots? What if it was Israel? What if it was Benjamin Netanyahu that called out a hit on him? No, it's just fucking retarded. Bitch, then you'd be dead. That's the reality. Oh, well, Charlie Kirk, so this is the reason why they're going to kill Charlie Kirk is because so Israel has this huge plan and they're going to control everything because, you know, the Jews control it all. And now they're going to kill him because he's going to expose it. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What are you doing? You're doing it. You're so why aren't you dead? Why haven't they killed you? There's no logic. There's no reasoning.
Conservatives in the government or right for anyone. Do not fucking associate this fucking psychotic bitch. You can make yourself look like a far right extremist or like separatist speeches. Do not associate with this fucking psychopath. Stay away as clear as possible. She's crazy. She's a fucking psychopath.
Resentment from like legitimate people who are also kept at bay and don't have the control they want as managers and bosses. And I think there's a lot of that. You're here for Landon Donovan, you heard from Stu Holden.
I didn't really talk about this, but there was an ice shooting. There's like some person that ran into ice, I guess it's kind of ice. They really talk about it.
Now, at least 5 people killed by ICE in the streets of America. Ruben Rey Martinez, they killed him. Young man, they killed him. San Padre Island in Texas. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, Keith Porter, they killed him in LA. Renee Good and Alex Petty, they killed them in Minnesota. And now Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. There's been over
as well of Americans who've been killed by illegal immigrants. Do you have that list?
I know some of the names. I don't have the list, but I do know some of the names.
What are their names? What are some of their names?
Listen, we have heard all of the names. This is not me doing a contest of whether you know the names or whether I know the names. I want to pronounce these names because I think we need to put names and faces and
I agree.
stories. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you want to talk, the people they killed don't have criminal records. The people they killed, Joshua Mengere, Chris Dineley, and what are the names of people that have been killed by U.S. citizens? How is that relevant? Well, you want to start talking about people who've been killed, then let's start talking about people who've been killed.
This one opinion, honestly, when you get the criminals out first, we need the criminals out first. We need to have close secret borders. We need to have like more like asylum officers. We need to have like strong Fed at the border. People need to come here the right way. Congress is not the ICE agents. I've said this a lot. Congress is not the ICE agents. It's the leadership. Like, Christian Jones was in college. Stephen Miller's a shit. Those are the biggest agents. Also, Christian's gotten moved into a different part of the administration. Stephen Miller's my biggest problem. They say it always for Trump immigration policy. They just need to have more better leadership. I think the message for these people has been very bad. Their leadership has been problematic. So,
I would have thought it was.
Yeah, but we need to like focus on your great. Like criminals out first. If they want like focus on getting young people, that's fine. We need to get the criminals out first. Have more asylum officers. You know, keep the border closed. You know, do more do better background checks. You know who's coming in, who's put it in or not. That's what we need to. But the problem is a lot of these foreign don't want immigration policy. They don't like any cowboy for immigration. They're fine with like criminals, failing criminals. State of country has big problems. But we should have more like that border bill. They should fix the border bill. I know like Trump told people to do on that. So Trump could support immigration on the border. He could like criticize like the last administration how they. So that's just my opinion. All right. Let's go and get stuff. All right, guys. Let's go get
Coach, great wide receiver, tight end talent, easy division. Again, play the white tees, play the blue tees. This is not like the Warriors, Kevin Durant, right? The Sixers have one tight end. He can't win the second playoff series. So the problem's not taking a dynasty in motion. That would be like going to the Knicks.
Oh yeah, this guy's
Work smarter, not harder.
I've watched the fight and it goes.
Jeff Bezos always says this. When you're a public figure, the biggest waste of time is worrying what people think about you. Who cares if people say it's the easy way out? You heard it.
Don't remember.
Oh,
Talking about the
his speed
James Harden.
But I don't remember what he specifically had in great football.
Got no shooters.
So
Have a good front line. Got nobody on the bench. You always get clarity when you take a deep breath. It could be politics.
We're going to get a breakfast fan video. I'm not sure you guys can keep up with it. I've watched all the videos that Ben has done. We came out with another video. He's going to trial. It's kind of ridiculous. They put to the man over the legals. I think those things drops that would make them should be arrested, should be never caught. The people that did like these scams with should be in jail today. So this video.
We get it this year.
I'm about to go to court, and I don't even know what I did wrong. Yeah, Bricks and Minifigs is making up tons of lies about me to the police to try to get me thrown in jail so I can't release my documentary about them. But the crazy part is I'm not even allowed to know what they're saying I did. Legally, I'm not allowed to film inside court, so I formally requested the audio, but since there was no visual, I hired an animator to animate over it.
Hard for me to imagine right away.
Right now, I kind of don't even know what I'm being charged for because all of the body cam footage has been redacted, and they say it's to protect the victims. However, I think there are some redactions that maybe don't make sense and that weren't to protect the victims. There's some things being said about me that are redacted I don't know about.
I do have concerns with the defendant representing himself. The allegations here relate to the fact that the defendant, he's a person he's a YouTuber, creates videos, publishes them online, and has been, if this defendant were to represent himself and we were to provide body cams and discovery, we would be now providing additional information and fodder for this defendant to create videos from which he could profit by placing them on YouTube at the expense of our victims. I have serious concerns with that.
Yeah, the state of Utah is claiming that if they tell me what I'm being accused of, then I'll use it for content on my YouTube channel. And they can't have that. They're arguing to the judge that the best thing to do is to not let me know what's being said about me. which is very strange, but that's their argument. And just in case you haven't been following along with this whole Lego story, this is all happening because I stepped in to help a family who had their Lego collection stolen from a company called Kirk For the last couple months, this company's been doing whatever they can to get me arrested so they can keep all the Legos for themselves. And this isn't even just me speculating. One of their own employees literally told us what their plan was.
I got a call from my boss, and it was like, how do we get
Dang. But eventually, Bricks and Minifigs found out that I'm not just some random kid. I'm actually a YouTuber making a documentary on the entire scandal. Yeah, this is when things really started getting crazy. Bricks and Minifigs went into ultimate defense mode. It was going to do whatever it takes to prevent this documentary from coming out. First, the police got a call saying I had heroin on me. And obviously, they found nothing. Then they got a call saying that I was the one that stole the Legos. I got swatted by the entire police department. We all got arrested. Right when I got out of jail, I got a warrant for my arrest for some mystery crime that I committed. Yeah, the police showed up to my house all the way in Los Angeles to arrest me without bail.
He was like, just tell her she has a warrant for his arrest.
Police couldn't arrest me.
No idea.
I was somewhere very far away. But anyways, back to court. The judge is looking at signing a protective order to protect Josh and all of his statements about me. If this protective order gets signed, then I'll never be able to find out what he's claiming I did.
I don't think we have a budget for animation.
Oh, shoot. So how do we animate this next court scene? I guess if we have to not pay the lawyers, then I guess the animation's more important, right?
What? Plus,
Yeah, we decided maybe the lawyers are actually more important. So, yeah, we ran out of animation budget. Sorry, guys.
The court's inclined to sign this pretrial protective order unless you have an objection to it, Mr. Schneider. And
Yes, I think there's a bunch of misunderstandings in this case, and so this person doesn't want to get exposed, so he's making up a lot of lies about me in order to get me arrested before he gets exposed. So that's what this whole thing's about.
However, before I was allowed to show any of the overwhelming evidence I have to support my claims, the judge didn't care about the evidence and signed the protective order anyways.
Mr. Schneider, the court's going to sign this order and serve it upon you.
So the court has made it clear. They do not want to look at the evidence, and they want to protect Josh and Brandon for some reason. And now I have to somehow fight a court case against all of these mystery crimes against me that I have no clue what they're even saying I did. So this whole mess is happening in American Fork, Utah. And I'm also being charged with another case in Provo, Utah. This is where corporate Bricks and Minifigs is, which is why I'm also being charged here. And this police department has surprisingly actually followed the law when it comes to discovery. And they sent me all the raw body cam footage of what I'm being charged for. Let's start at the beginning. The moment I first met the CEO. The reason I'm talking to him right now is because before exposing this company for the grand theft they committed, I do the right thing first before I make a documentary about this. But the CEO did not want to take the opportunity to do the right thing and instead instantly called the cops on us.
Hi there. You guys stole this product from this person. You don't give it back. I'm going to burn the place down. Or we're going to burn the place down. Or killing you. It's Ben Schneider who's been the one that just hates this year.
You can see in the police report that the crime he wanted to get us charged for is called extortion, which basically means we're threatening him into paying us, which is very illegal. However, obviously he's just making all of this up. The reality is, I just thought it was a nice gesture to give him the opportunity to do the right thing first.
If you guys do have our Legos, you kind of want them back, you know? And
But if there's one thing I've learned from this entire experience, it's that whoever ends up doing the morally right thing just ends up getting screwed over. So now it's time to play the way Bricks and Minifigs is playing and use their own strategy against them. Right now, their strategy is to get me arrested before I get them arrested. So now, I'm going to reverse this and get Eamon, the CEO, arrested before he gets me arrested. But if I'm going to be the reason that someone's going to jail, I should probably make sure that they definitely deserve this. So I'm going to give them one more chance to try to do the right thing first. But instead of doing the right thing and attempting to work this out, Eamon just hid in his little office. And he called the police on me.
Really? But they told us that they were.
Normally I wouldn't want to get someone arrested, but we gave him every opportunity to talk to us. So at this point, he's just arresting himself. However, the only difference between my strategy and Bricks and Minifigs' strategy is I don't have to lie to the police. Eamon McNeff actually committed a crime. I have tons of crimes on camera that Eamon McNeff has committed. Let's start at the beginning with crime number 1.
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
So who's like
Brian Mansell.
Okay, who's that?
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos in his store.
Eamon was first trying to claim that he's never even heard of Brian Mansell, and this guy definitely never had any Legos in a Bricks and Minifigs store. And once we showed him all of the social media posts his own company made, it was very obvious that we just caught him in a lie. So the CEO decided to change his story, and now the story is the Legos used to be in the store, but the previous owner, Crystal, she stole all the Legos right before they took over the store.
Back at the easy way.
The only problem is their security camera footage of the previous owner getting kicked out.
These are ones that he has not been paid for yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
Ice cubes turn into water, all right? So this whole thing about not drinking water is just
Corporate just said that they're going to be the ones to take over the consignment deal with all the Legos that are still in the store. And there's extra proof that these Lego sets were still in the store. We're back and started taking pictures of everything that you can verify in the metadata with the timestamps that match the exact moment she's getting kicked out. And then you can see her in the store with nothing in her hand, proving that the sets were still in the store and the CEO is lying to us right now. But that's only one side of the story. I also thought it was fair to hear his side.
You sent a bunch of pictures of the Legos still in the back. You can see in the security camera footage, corporate comes and throws her out.
I understand what you're talking about. That you have a misunderstanding of what
weaponize a nuclear program, and now what the party is to do is add deterrence, which is
you have accepted a narrative that is not real, and you are continuing to pursue that narrative because it's easy, and it gives you views, and it gives you all sorts of
shut down the Strait of Hormuz. And that way,
so basically what the CEO is trying to explain to me is we shouldn't be looking at the evidence. Instead, I should just be taking his word for it because he said so.
Not only is Hezbollah going to bomb Israel, not only
yeah.
is Iran going to bomb everybody with missiles, but also they're going to shut down the Strait, and there's nothing we can do about it. Just adding another form of deterrence to their strategy.
To make it easier for you guys to understand the CEO's argument, we're going to demonstrate his argument with a little skit.
We covered it on.
Oh, that wasn't a back. No.
We're not interested in what happened.
Yes, this is the exact argument the CEO is trying to make. Something we just saw in video, the CEO is saying never happened, which would mean the CEO is lying. And most people would agree that lying is morally wrong. However, if you lie about a crime, the way Eamon's lying to me right now, then that's not just morally wrong anymore. That crosses into new territory called illegal. The specific crime is called obstruction. If someone commits this crime, they can get arrested.
Even if there's no formal peace treaty that ends the war, they're not going to try.
We're at the police station, and we're going to charge them with a criminal crime, obstructing of evidence of a $200,000 theft. And good news for us, we found out last week that all of the police in Utah take obstruction very seriously here. The police arrested my friend Sheldon for obstruction just for locking his phone.
That doesn't guarantee our security.
He said that time.
All upon the circumstance, it's nice, but we saw what happened the last time. Iran made a deal with the United States and the European free countries and Russia and China.
Destroy evidence. Okay, put your hands behind your back. I was just locking my phone.
You're under arrest for obstruction of evidence right now.
The crazy part is, the police didn't even have a warrant, so Sheldon locking his phone was 100% legal. The police arrested him anyways because that's literally how serious the police take obstruction crimes here. They do not mess around when it comes to obstruction. Now, just imagine how angry the police are going to be when I go into the police station and tell them that someone is actually, for real this time, committing obstruction crime. And this obstruction crime is on a much bigger scale. Later, the police called me saying that they were going to do a police investigation on this. I told the detective the entire situation.
He was saying that this family's Lego sets were never even in the store, like all of this stuff. And it's all documented. I have video of all of him saying this. I think he's like falsifying evidence, and I think that's obstruction.
And now that we stole Bricks and Minifigs' strategy, I think the plan is finally going to work.
Looks like the CEO is going down.
I mean, I submitted the videos of Eamon saying we're going to burn down the building and shoot him.
Say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back,
And then I submitted all the raw footage of the entire conversation I had with him, proving to the police that we never even said anything close to this. This raw footage verifies that everything I told the police is true, and everything Eamon told the police is a lie. On top of that, I even got access to the complete case Eamon made against me, and he doesn't have a single piece of evidence to support any of his claims. Which I guess makes sense. Like, how can you support evidence if you're just making everything up? Like, of course you can't submit anything.
So if the police have to decide what case to pursue, they're obviously going to pursue this case because it has like a ton of evidence, and they're going to throw out Eamon's case that has no evidence at all.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Hello, my name is Ben Schneider. A couple months ago, I made a case, and you were the officer that was helping me create it. I submitted a bunch of evidence through a link you sent me, and this was a couple months ago, and I haven't heard anything back. And so I'm just calling to see if I can get some type of update on how the case is going. It's about the CEO, Eamon McNeff of Bricks and Minifigs, in an obstruction case. And so if you could give me a call back at your earliest convenience, that'd be awesome.
All right, here we go. Look at that focus. Well, he saw the streak adjusted. That is perfect execution right there.
Listen, Tony, that's all about patience and preparation paying off.
It's easier to play when you've got a plan.
Oh, shit.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Strandberg, and I'm excited to share a major step forward in gum health. Most people...
Sorry, your call cannot be completed.
Yeah, literally, no matter what I tried, I could not get a hold of this police officer. So I'm going to go all the way back to Utah to go back to the Provo police station in person to see how the police investigation against Eamon is going. And I just so happened to get a hold of the police schedule and arrived at the exact time this officer was supposed to arrive. But before I could speak to this officer, one of the other police officers called me to the front desk and asked to talk to me.
Really? They said he was going to be here today at 3 o'clock.
Is there
any way that you can check if he's here? Are you going to look and see how the case is going? All I really want is kind of just an update on the case. Okay, you can't even just tell me like how it's going, like if he's still looking into it, or. Okay, well, thank you.
So basically, I came all the way out here to find zero answers, but eventually I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail, and looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases, and Eamon's, not mine. Yes, the case that had an overwhelming amount of evidence. They thought that case was garbage, and they took on the case that has zero evidence at all. In the police body cam footage, after the police watched my full conversation, proving that I didn't threaten to burn the place down or literally anything, they even admitted to Eamon that there was no credibility with his entire case against me.
no extortion code that would fit your situation. However, at the end of the day, we do want to help you guys how you deal with this whole all of these issues. We did find that there was another code that fit, and it's called aggravated commercial extortion.
The police just told Eamon that even though there's absolutely nothing to his claim against me, if they work together, maybe they can fabricate some type of charge against me.
When he came to the property, he asked him more than once to leave.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not leaving until we get it. And he's like, no.
So Eamon's telling the police that even though they continuously told us to leave, we didn't leave. But if we go back and look at the footage of what happened, this is the reality.
Very motivated by anger, very motivated
I don't know. It kind of looks like the reality of what happened is we left too early for them. They wanted to pull us back in to keep talking to us. But we did show back up a second time. And to Ammon's credit, about halfway through the conversation, he did say that if we don't leave, he's going to call the cops on us.
You can leave if you come back here. If you don't leave right now, I will.
You don't want to do the easy way?
And this is right after I told him you could do it either the easy way and just give us the Legos back, or we can do it the hard way, implying that we would take him to court.
I'm not threatening. It's we're right, like we have a right to the Legos, so we're going to be doing the easy way. I mean, I can give you proof if you want.
But right after he says this, he's now asking us to provide him proof that we actually are entitled to these Legos, so we can't leave now because he just told us to stay and provide proof. And then at the very end of the conversation, he says this one more time.
The first blast, the first this. What, Jackie Robinson, 1947?
Okay. Thank you for working with us, and so see you later.
Well, we have now all just seen the video footage of what actually happened. But now let's hear how Ammon describes it to the police.
It's going to be a second-degree felony. He's facing felony charges. Is a felony?
Yes, because I went to the corporate headquarters and tried to give Ammon the easy way out of all of this, they're now trying to get me on a second-degree felony, which I don't really know how any of this would make me get a second-degree felony. Like, what the heck, police officers? If they're doing it, and the punishment for this crime is 15 years in jail. I think one of the main reasons the police keep taking Ammon's side instead of ours, besides the whole Mormon thing, is that Ammon keeps framing the situation as he's just the helpful CEO who's trying to do the right thing and return Brian's property. And one of the ones that are preventing him from giving it back to Brian. So I said we rewatch the footage and see what actually happened.
We said we would be more than happy to help Mr. Mansell.
Yeah, because Brian said Brian said he asked for the store inventory, and because he said like he wanted to work with you, and then you guys didn't provide the store inventory.
We asked him to provide us with any documentation, and he provided us with the spreadsheet. Not something that anybody, like you can walk over to a all of your ice cream.
300 days.
Ammon's referring to wasn't just some mystery spreadsheet, it was the actual actual inventory the store made. So I guess Ammon's trying to claim that the previous owner stole the Legos and then lied on the inventory, and so now he said that when corporate was taking over the store, that they actually did their own inventory, and this is the correct inventory. And good news for me, he's willing to give me this inventory. He's actually always been willing to give it to me or Brian. All we've ever had to do was ask.
Well, we did that, and you guys, I think we emailed you 5 or 6 times and gotten 0 response back.
Yeah, literally the first thing I did right when I heard about this entire situation was I googled Bricks and Minifigs, clicked on their website, clicked contact us, and sent them a message. I actually got a message back from corporate saying that they would love to help, but after a few months, I kept trying to reply to this message, and they just completely ghosted me.
We've done like 6 over the last I say, like, hey, I'll grab the separate result, we'll shoot you back out right now, and never, What's the email? This is on your website. Well, this is just on the website, so.
Did I look up something on the website and send it there?
Well, that's what. No.
Send me an email to franchise.
Yeah. But you're getting mad at me because I emailed you on the website?
So, I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to argue on something that I didn't do anything, I'm telling you that one.
Yeah, you're like getting upset at us that we emailed the email that was on your website.
Well, I'm telling you the way to do this. You've been probably trying to communicate with us.
Well, that's your guys' fault for putting that email on the website. Then so why are you getting mad at us because you emailed the website for your instructions?
I'm not getting mad at you.
Well, we're not harassing, we're just asking for our Legos back. If someone stole money from you and you went and politely asked for the money back, is that you harassing them?
It seems like Ammon kept either trying to stall or switch the subject. It almost seems like he doesn't want to actually give us this inventory, but he keeps saying he's willing to give it to us.
You guys can put that inventory list to us?
I think we have sent that to him.
He said that's all he wants in inventory. He'll stop like bugging you guys.
But you guys will
give him inventory? Because he said he's been asking for it for over a year now. Yeah, I think Brian gets upset because he says they always say it, they'll send me the list, kind of like how you're saying, oh, we can send it easily. But then when it comes down to it, you'll never actually send it. So maybe if you actually go ahead and send it, it would make him feel better.
Well, I understand what you're trying to get at. More than willing to work with you and help you. That's what I'm saying. Email that email address, and that will produce.
Anyways, I sent an email to the email he told me about, not the one on their website. That's a bad email. Don't ever email that one to Yo, it's gonna be this. But according to Ammon, now that I've sent this email, I should be receiving the inventory list very soon. So I waited all day. And I got no answer. So the next day, I sent them another email. I patiently waited again for about a week. And finally,
this is the response. Mr. Snyder, Band Franchising Incorporation will not participate in any form of communication that appears designed for public provocation, harassment, or manipulation of facts for the purpose of media content. Attempts to obtain privileged or confidential information through misrepresentation or the creation of fraudulent documents. Just for me asking for this inventory list to prove their innocence because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to be like, hey, if you're innocent, I want to prove that you're innocent with this inventory list. But now, by me trying to do that, that's criminal behavior
and considered harassment. And we reserve all rights to refer such behavior to appropriate legal authorities.
It's the cops. So don't ask for our inventory list, or else we're going to call the cops.
Yes, Bricks and Minifigs has officially banned me from ever asking for this inventory list again. And I'm not the only one who's banned from asking for this list.
A full inventory right away.
Yeah, and every time it's been just absolutely nothing. So we've never gotten anything. We've never gotten an inventory list.
Yeah, the previous owner who got her entire store stolen from her by corporate, I mean, she's legally required to get sent an inventory list, and even she, 2 years later, has not gotten it yet.
It would have resolved everything because they would have had to identify everything in the store, and it would have identified all of Brian's stuff, and they never provided it, so we couldn't then demand the third-party evaluation.
And it's now, what, a year and a half later?
Who knows what?
Still no inventory. Would have solved a lot of problems a year and a half ago to go, here's the inventory.
And even Brian still hasn't received this inventory list yet.
I've never received a record of sales.
And the worst part about all of this is it seems like the CEO is pretty much just trying to rub all of this in everyone's face. When I turned on the news, I saw this.
As far as offering Brian the inventory, have you gone through the store, figured out what was part of his collection, taken inventory and shown him that inventory?
Try to share those with Mr. Ansel in hopes that he can see, like that we were not attempting in any way, shape, or form to hold anything. Those then were offered to him. The initial offer was rejected.
So now on public television, Ammon, the CEO, is telling the world that he tried to give us this inventory, and we're the ones that didn't want it.
We do want to help him recover as much of his collection. Our number one priority right now is to ensure that he gets paid full. We know that we have a responsibility to work with him to make sure he does get made whole.
So you've offered Brian the inventory of sets that was in the store.
Yeah, whatever was left over, we've offered that on multiple occasions. So we've tried to make multiple offers, and hopefully we'll be able to get them to the table so we can discuss it.
And this is pretty much Ammon's game plan now. Go on as many news stations as you can and lie.
The entire time we were saying, hey, we want to help.
The main narrative now seems to be Bricks and Minifigs has always been trying to give Brian his Legos back, but Brian just never wanted them back.
Would you be willing to just take this? And the answer was no. It was attempted to be given to the family, and it was refused. They made the offer and said, hey, you can have all this, and that offer was not accepted at the time.
So that's Ammon's side of the story, but I say let's take a look at what actually happened. So right when this happened, Brian hired an attorney to reach out to Bricks and Minifigs. They sent an email saying, how should we proceed to retake the possession of the set/minifigures? And they actually emailed back saying they were willing to help. And then after this, they just never respond. So Brian's attorney sent them another email, just following up on this, when can we pick up the sets? And they still didn't respond. So the attorneys emailed back saying, it's now been 16 days. How can we get these Legos back? And finally, they received a response.
It says Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson have no legal obligation to return any of the Lego product that exists in their store to you. What? So yeah, basically they're saying that they're the ones that are not able to work with you, is what it seems like.
They finished this email saying, we consider this matter closed and will not be returning any Lego products to you. So as you can see, that's the reality of what actually happened. But then Ammon goes on Fox News and says this.
So they actually did have an attorney send information to us. Said, great, appreciate this. Let's see what we can do to work this out. And then we never heard back.
It's a little handheld device.
Guys, that's reasonable, dude. They need to investigate this fucking guy.
So why is Ammon going on Fox News then and saying we wanted to give Brian his stuff back,
he's the one that didn't want his stuff back. He didn't want any of his things.
That's my point. I don't know. He's lying.
I truly do believe in integrity. Truly, I believe in the sentiment of integrity, and I believe everyone should have integrity.
But anyways, another thing the CEO seems to be pretty upset about is that when Brian kept demanding his stuff back and couldn't get it back, eventually he had enough. And he was like, I'm going to make a Facebook post about this. And in his Facebook post, he called Bricks and Minifigs thieves and liars. And this Facebook post, really pissed off Ammon. I mean, Bricks and Minifigs is literally suing Brian now for millions of dollars, all because of this. I mean, back when I was talking to him at corporate headquarters, he made it very clear that what they did is technically not actually considered theft.
There is no theft. Do you understand the legal definition of theft? Legally have to
So
have
theft?
definition of knowing.
Yeah. And on my phone,
Not known. Until Mr. Mansell came in days later and said, I have some of these things that we do.
and that's another lie again because
So I showed Ammon the security camera footage where corporate acknowledges that they are now going to be responsible for these Lego Star Wars sets.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
It is also pretty obvious, like, oh, dude, you haven't done any crime, but you've also been a rental transfer. So let's just
And after showing him this footage to try to bring the conversation back to reality, this was his response.
let's just lock him up too.
because we caught you guys.
No, because you are attempting to extort us. So
With his firmware. And here it is now being read out. You know,
what you are doing right now
let's
is
do something else. Let's go back to the museum.
So catching you guys in illegal activity, that's illegal on me.
Technique. So all these
we have done.
See, I agree too. I agree. Nope, it's not illegal on us. Thank you for.
You know, I gotta. What am I gonna do about Grandpa's gun? That's gonna be all over me to get Grandpa's.
I don't think it's illegal. I think us catching you guys for doing the illegal thing doesn't make that what we're doing is illegal. That means what you guys are doing is illegal.
This part also is just like, this is the thing that I don't get, right? Haley Wilkins mentioned Paramore. Okay, shut up. The thing that I don't understand is like, this guy, they do everything, right? Tyler Robinson allegedly does everything by the book. You know, plans this whole thing out.
Okay. Thank you for working with us. And
one kill.
After just going around in circles for probably 30 to 40 minutes and just, you know, having like kind of less than genuine questions or less than genuine responses being given to me. You know, I was exasperated by the end of it, and that's, you know, like when people get tired and exasperated, that's like, we finally got the footage that we can use to make him look like a completely unreasonable monster, you know, like so. But that's what they do is you know, people whose goal is to do those types of things, they just harass and go after people as long and hard as they can until somebody breaks and says something that, you know, then they can, you know, use that one clip to be like, oh, look at this horrible monster of a person. So that's what I feel like is kind of really happened here.
So Ammon's claiming that I just harassed him for 30 minutes and finally he got fed up with us, which that was the one clip at the end that I used in my documentary. So I say let's go to the very beginning of the footage, my first interaction with them, and see what actually happened.
So you guys are holding some of our Legos? You're not?
Yeah, literally from the very first sentence we ever exchanged with each other, Ammon's goal was just to lie to us. But anyways, I'm now starting to think that the only reason Ammon wanted us to email him about the inventory list wasn't actually to give us the inventory list, but actually it was a trap. Yeah, Ammon only wanted me to email him so he can find out my email and subpoena Google and find out all of my private information. You think I'm lying, but they actually did this. They subpoenaed Google asking for all private information tied to this email address. And Google sent them like hundreds of hours of all the raw footage from everything I've filmed in the Lego video so far. All my emails, all my search history, all the metadata that should never have been. But anyways, this was the reaction of the police officer after she watched my entire first episode.
I'm really curious to see like if this really makes any money doing this YouTube stuff. I'm like, it's enough for him to travel to another state to go get some footage. It doesn't even sound like his his like secret information doesn't seem credible from my understanding.
No, so it sounds like you were able to watch the video.
I think by secret information, the police officer is referring to the security camera footage that proves that everything Bricks and Minifigs is saying is a lie. The first question is, how could this not be credible? It's literally just video evidence of what happened that night. But at least now I can see why the police aren't listening to me. They're basically just saying that all of the evidence I submit to them is not credible and therefore case closed. That's wrong and we're right, because we said that the evidence is uncredible. At this point, Bricks and Minifigs is working with the police to just come up with whatever story they can to make any evidence I give them seem as uncredible as possible.
All of his actions generate clicks and likes to get like social media clout without putting work into doing the crummy stuff.
And what that is Lance swings himself.
He seems like a fun
the fact that she's not
No. Oh, and you know,
because hearsay is admissible. So the hearsay could have come in if a police officer, through a detective, through another witness in the case. Maybe the judge.
This is the craziest part of the video to me. Ammon's claiming that I'm a keyboard warrior. And a keyboard warrior is basically just someone who talks a lot of smack online, but then when it actually comes down to it, they won't do anything in person. Which, I mean, if we look back at the footage, I accomplished almost everything I set out to do. I didn't get scared of anything. If someone in this story is a keyboard warrior, I don't think it's me. I think it's Bricks and Minifigs. I mean, let's double check by looking at the footage. Ammon claims with his words that he can give us the inventory list.
We can show the inventory list.
But when it actually comes down to it, he's terrified to give it to anyone. Bricks and Minifigs this entire time has also just been begging me to sue them. So when I finally go out and actually sue them, they close down their store. And now Bricks and Minifigs is going to absolute extreme lengths to hide from this lawsuit.
Are you okay if she just gives you the paper so we can just...
No, I'm not accepting service.
I mean, Bricks and Minifigs is showing all of the signs of a keyboard warrior, but for some reason they think that I'm the keyboard warrior. At this point, it almost seems like everything Bricks and Minifigs is doing, for some reason they think that I'm the one that's the one doing it.
Hopefully making this cross for you guys, hopefully no more issues. There's so many other things that this guy could like be talking about, right?
Understand. So strange. We're gonna do that. Operations. Brief moment. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, Ammon just completely proves my point. Obviously, I'm not suffering from the sunk cost fallacy at all. Ammon's the one suffering from the sunk cost fallacy. I mean, they literally already admitted to me that they've held onto the Legos for so long, it's not worth it for them to give it back to us anymore.
Desk line operator has time for just one brief moment. We're touching our tippy toes in the water.
Let's see what else Bricks and Minifigs is accusing me of. Well, they're suing me for defamation. But this entire time, Bricks and Minifigs is actually the ones defaming me.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person.
Let's go to the next thing Bricks and Minifigs is accusing me of. Extortion. When they're the ones actually extorting me by saying if I don't let them steal the Legos from us, they're going to make up a reason to throw me in jail. I stole the Legos?
Dang. Okay.
Bricks and Minifigs is also getting me for RICO charges.
Reckless before, I think it is more likely that the police are guilty of RICO, right?
And if you look at the CEO's previous businesses, he actually got sued for RICO. He's the one guilty of RICO, not me. They're also accusing me of sending a sniper to shoot out the windows of the McNeff house.
You guys want to come through, you can see the window and see where they were shooting.
When the police got there, they realized it was actually a construction worker who accidentally shattered the window.
Seems more likely it happened from construction work than it happened across the way.
But even after all this, they still go online and say it was me.
He's trying to get Ben Schneider for like attempted murder. He's basically trying to set Ben Schneider up for attempted murder when meanwhile it was made from his own construction worker.
So what's the moral of the story here? It looks like everything bad Bricks and Minifigs is doing, they think that I'm the one that's doing the bad thing. It makes no sense.
Thank you guys for honoring Charlie so well today. God bless you.
For example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now.
I just let you know we called a double blind. The person who committed the crime may or may not be in the lineup or convicted. So I will give this to you. You'll have as much time as you need to shoot someone or whenever you're able to feel that you have
I'm not much of the internet, but if this won't do it, so awesome. These guys are all such vultures. It's so dope. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Watching this unfold
There you go.
in real time was cathartic.
Really, this was like the final step that I needed. This is legit. We've been able to verify who he is now.
So the police put on this big performance to make it look like they're going to all this work to verify the facts. When in reality, they already know who I am. They already subpoenaed Google. They already watched my entire first Lego video. They already went through all my search history. To me, this just feels like a staged performance so they can show the world, hey, look, we verified everything. When if they would have just put an equal amount of effort into watching the raw footage I submitted to them, they would have found out that Ammon's just completely lying to them. But for some reason, they did it. A few weeks later, when I ended up going to court, this was the state's response.
As a fourth generation the prosecutor, is Benjamin Schneider here?
Yes.
If you want to take care of that today, we could do what we call a plea in abeyance.
Were you able to see the footage I submitted to the police of our interaction?
Mormons live in Utah.
I have not watched it.
Okay, because in that footage, you can clearly see that the second he tells us to leave, we say, okay, we'll leave. And then he calls the police and said that we threatened to burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. And he was just making up all these lies, which you can clearly see in the footage that we submitted. We were being respectful the whole time. We left the second he told us to.
Sorry, let me look.
And so it makes sense why the police would take me to court, because I mean he's threatening that we're going to burn down the building and shoot everyone, but we did nothing. Like, he's just saying that because he's trying to. I'm a documentary maker, so I'm making a documentary on the thing. So his logic is if he throws me in jail, then if he makes up a reason for me to go to jail, then I won't be able to expose them for their crimes. So that's the what's going on. It's clear as day in the footage if you watch it. It seems like they're just making up a bunch of false information in order to silence criticism.
But did you submit that to the police officer?
Yes.
Is the footage going such that it's still going like when you step out the door?
It starts from when we're in the elevator before we talk to him to when we're back in the elevator going back down.
Obviously, a video doesn't necessarily show everything that possibly happened.
So according to the state of Utah, the raw video that shows everything that possibly could have happened is not credible and could not have shown everything that possibly could have happened. And they didn't even watch it. They're literally just taking Ammon's word for everything and completely ignoring all the evidence. So where does this leave me now? Not only am I being charged with a bunch of mystery crimes in American Fork, Utah, but I'm also being charged with a second-degree felony up to 15 years in jail in Provo, Utah. And now that they have written proof that I'm committing all of these insane crimes against them, I mean, obviously Bricks and Minifigs just made up everything, but that's not how the court sees it. The court thinks that these are real, and for whatever reason, the court wouldn't let me share my side. They only heard Bricks and Minifigs' side.
Ben's side was not in the room, was not heard. The court signed an order erasing his published work on the strength of the company's verified complaint and the company's motion, with no one there to say
the judge granted a temporary restraining order, preventing me from even talking about Bricks and Minifigs, which sucks because this was the night I hit 1 million subscribers, and all my friends threw a giant surprise party for me.
Nice.
Yeah. Bricks and Minifigs gets to just keep spreading their lies about me, and I just have to sit in silence. There's nothing I can do to stop them.
Charlie's security team betrayed him this way.
It's crazy to think about how much public support I was getting.
I have told you guys this about Daily Wire, and they're relentlessly stalking me, following my fire that all feel unsafe.
Coffee, you have to go get a man has been voicing critical. Now I'm talking about it. I'm not mainstream, not big.
It really seemed like the entire internet was
Even
united
fucking
against
installed
this
talking
bully
about
of a company.
it.
and stuff it.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Brick by brick.
It really did seem like we were right about to get the Legos back. But I was wrong. Now the court has silenced me.
Look at his
And it looks like all the work I put into this was just for nothing.
Providing immediate updates on this to this parasite.
However, people were pretty upset that I was silenced and decided to protest.
Oh my god.
It sucks that I'm not even allowed to be a part of this movement anymore.
Protesting over the Legos.
Or maybe I can be here. I just have to be in disguise so no one recognizes me.
Alright, I'm here with, what was your name?
Same thing happened with Eric.
Support the cause.
Jerome.
I spent the rest of the day protesting for the cause, and not a single person here recognized who I actually am. And maybe the protesting works, because after a full month of remaining silent, I finally have an announcement.
Look, I don't need this disguise anymore because I have my freedom of speech back, baby. I can say whatever I want. I can say bricks and minifigs sucks. I can say bricks and minifigs sucks. And look, I just said it. I'm not in jail, which is sick. We got our First Amendment rights back.
And now that I have my freedom of speech back, everyone is wondering how bricks and minifigs can make up for the fact that they made up all these lies about me to take away my freedom of speech. Most legal experts are saying I could easily win millions of dollars from bricks and minifigs, but instead, I have a better solution.
If they want to apologize, they can say that they're sorry by doing the chicken dance. And I will take that as a sincere form of apology. And once I do the chicken dance, then I will know that bricks and minifigs is sorry, and we can finally move on to the next video series. It'll be awesome. You guys might be thinking, why do you want them to do the chicken dance? And there's actually a reason. So this entire time, Bricks and Minifigs always says the right thing, but then their actions don't match their words at all. So I was thinking, well, if they get given an apology, they might say the right things, you know, but they're not actually going to mean it. So by doing the chicken dance, I'm going to basically just be giving them another opportunity to do the right thing, not just with their words, but with their actions. Once they decide to do the right thing, then I'll move on to the next video series and never talk about Bricks and Minifigs again. And also make sure to check us out at www.westealfromoldpeople.com. Right now, we have 2 new Lego sets for sale that you can buy right now. One of Joshua Johnson, one of Ammon McNess. And we're only making 500 of each. And once all 500 of each sell out, we're never making any more. And you gotta buy them now because someday they're gonna sell for like $1 million or something. They're gonna be collectibles. It's gonna be sick. Also subscribe to Patreon. You'll get tons of behind the scenes, tons of extra footage, cool interviews. Also, part 4 is coming soon. If you subscribe to Patreon, you'll be the first to watch it. And also subscribe to part 5, subscribe to part 6, part 7, all the way to part 100. We're doing 100 parts. The lawyer said it's like Tuesday, which they're still not dropping a lawsuit. So it'll be at least 2 years and 52 weeks a year. It's 104 parts at least. So come back all the way till 100.
She cried, we cried.
It's fucking insane, guys.
That's the reason
Yeah,
why Candace
I didn't hear this guy till like last month. I didn't know who he was. Because I guess, like, you know,
if they were normal human beings,
it was all over the internet.
Candace would not be able to cook up these theories against them. Because everyone would be like, we talk about Ben didn't immediately try to take over Turning Point USA moments after Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
He watched all the videos.
He did do that. He immediately did that. He was like, oh, it's my time to shine now. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. It was a crazy thing to do. So obviously, it is like my opinion on all this stuff is like my honest opinion on all this stuff is I don't think it's Israel that killed Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk's going to turn on Israel. I don't believe any of that stuff. Obviously, I've said it over and over again. But I'm not going to stop people from thinking it. I can't stop you, right? I've tried my best. People don't listen to me. But what I will say is this. The reason why Candace has been able to dominate this discourse so successfully and become the carrier of the flame, unironically, is because she showed humanity. Okay, the point I'm making right now is if any of these people were like normal human beings and they reacted as though normal human beings do, and didn't immediately go into performance mode. Okay, if they showed humanity in this moment, if they didn't immediately see dollar signs and the way that Erica did and the way that Ben did, then I think Candace Owens would not have been able to make a convincing argument. But because these guys are horrible people in general, and they saw this as an opportunity to lay ownership, like a lay ownership stake in Turning Point USA, to be the person that Charlie Kirk was, you know, to take that role on immediately. Most people's reaction in the Charlie Kirk fandom, most people's reaction in the Charlie Kirkiverse was, yeah, I don't believe any of you guys. I believe Candace Owens. It's that simple. Okay?